Very happy game day, everybody. Welcome in on Texas Football. Watch Along is with you. About 10 minutes out to Texas and Arkansas. 2-8 Arkansas. They've been in every game, but have only won 2 of them and are on 8-game losing streak. They're 0-6 in the SEC. Longhorns, of course, coming off that rough fourth quarter and loss at Georgia, 35-10. Longhorns were within 14-10, but obviously snowballed, got out of control, and the Longhorns suffer their 3rd loss of the year. So, guys, Jerry and Jeff, Longhorns face a rarity for Steve Sarkisian in the last few years, a game that, isn't a, kind of a must-win play-in kind of game for a tournament. It's, I guess the Longhorns could still outside chance make the tournament. But right now, what's this team made of? What's the culture all about? Because this game, really, a big picture doesn't mean like it has the last couple of years for the Longhorns. They just have to go play for the fans and for the pride and to get a W.
Yeah, no doubt. The first thing I'm looking for is the energy level, kind of the reactiveness of the kids early in this game to see where they're at, see how locked in they are. If they're locked in, Texas has a better football team. There's no doubt about that, right? But where's the energy? What does the passion look like, Jeff? And that's the big thing coming out of last week is, a team that had a lot really, really high hopes, that see those hopes are technically a 20% or less chance to be in a college football playoff. That was the goal. The goal is to play in the SEC championship game, make the college football playoff. The SEC championship game's out. College football still has maybe a small, tiny window of potential there. But what does this team bring to this game today? They don't know the Texas-Arkansas rivalry. They didn't grow up in wherever the state they played in, hearing about Texas-Arkansas. Steve Sarkisian's had Ted Coy, former player that played against Arkansas, give some speeches this week at times about this rivalry, what it really means. But what is this team going to bring today, Jeff? That's the question. I think there's some things we know will happen today, and then there's a lot of things we wonder what will happen today.
This game, E mentioned it. This is the first game a Steve Sarkisian Texas team has played in November in a long time, maybe going back to 2021, his first year, where there wasn't something. Even 22, they're still playing for a possible shot getting into the Big 12 title game. So this game will test your football character. We'll find out about the football character of this team because, like I said, you're not playing for anything. You can send a message to A&M, but, it's all about, can you lock in for 3 hours today and put your best foot forward? They haven't done that this year. They've yet to play a complete game. I'm not counting on it that today's going to be the day. But, look, this game, for all those reasons, concerns me more than the A&M game does. They'll be up for next Friday. Like, there's no question. Your energy, your juice, your focus will be there. But especially with all the outside noise, all the distractions, your head coach having to address his future again, can you lock in for 3.5 hours and put your best foot forward? I don't know.
I hope the crowd brings it today. I hope that crowd really brings it today too. I mean, look, there's things. Yes, Texas is favored by 8.5, 9 in this game for a reason, but you have a lot of recruits at this game today. This needs to be a really good home crowd today. This crowd needs to be into it. They need to be live. They need to be 1,000% behind their football team today. Whether it's a 3-and-out on the first drive or a false start on 3rd and 3, this fan base needs to be excited, bring energy to the stadium today, because the games like this matter in recruiting, because there's only 2. This has been a bad season for Texas in recruiting this year on the home schedule. This has been the game they've had circled for a long time, and they need to be able to have an atmosphere today that kids like and are drawn to.
Well, Jerry, I want to ask you about that recruiting side and Sark's denials this week and how adamant he was in defense of that recruiting class. But let me tell you, this first quarter of our On Texas Football Watch Along, Watch With Us, will be brought to you by the Backer Longhorn Collection. You see it in the right corner there. That's BCKR. It's Backer. Backer's founded by a group of friends who love college football, enjoy talking trash about each other's schools, and they share a disdain for flimsy fan merch. Backer is high-quality, officially licensed Longhorn apparel, clothing, and gear. And we're going to be telling you about Backer throughout this first quarter and throughout the game tonight. And you see that little QR code there next to their brand. You can scan on that, get entered for a contest. Everybody that buys a piece of merchandise today at Backer will get a free Longhorn hat. And you can see all that gear at backer.com, bckr.com. It's official. It looks great. It's perfect for Christmas. Hey, Jeff, Jerry, Sark was adamant obviously the Desmond Howard, drop of, reckless drop, I thought, on Monday. Sark adamant on the SEC conference call, again on Thursday, Zoom availability on his coaches show this week. And obviously this is a real big recruiting weekend. It's been a weird recruiting group of Saturdays for the Longhorns. They were gone for so long, and Vanderbilt was 11 a.m. A&M is on Thanksgiving holiday. So this is really a standalone Saturday for them to put their best foot forward for the class of 2026, but really for the class of 27 and beyond, right?
Yeah, it is. Yes, for sure. And look, there's up to 8 spots left in this 26 class with signing day 2 weeks away. And they have a number of guys on official visits right now. Obviously, Bryson Martinez and Richard Anderson, the 2 LSU commits, take center stage. But now at least we have a date when Lane Kiffin's going to announce where he's going. So if Lane Kiffin announces a day after the Egg Bowl he's going to LSU, those guys will be off the table, more than likely. So, and that's just the reality of the recruiting situation there with the kids committed to LSU for so long. But you have Rocky Cummings, the linebacker from Carlsbad, who looked unbelievably good in person physically, by the way. I'd never seen him in person. He looks really good. Got a great frame on him. Jet Walker, Caden Scherer, they're here. Josiah Vilmel, the corner nickel out of Fort Bend Travis, he is here. And there's a lot of 2027s kid. There's a lot of committed. Jamarian Carlton, by the way, is back for his second game, the Baylor commit. He is back again. A number of 2027 commitments, like Richard Wesley, Hayward Howard Jr. is a teammate of Richard Anderson. A number of those guys are here for the game, and 2027s. This is a good collection of 2027s on campus, including Peyton Miller, the center from Annam, Texas, up in north of DFW area, north of Melissa, who is one of the top center prospects in the country. So a lot of kids on campus for this game, a number of commits as well. Derek Cooper, James Johnson. I was surprised. We were surprised James Johnson was here. I was up by this facility when all the recruits were showing up. He showed up. Derek Cooper's back for this game today. So a lot of impact recruits, either whether they're committed or guys that Texas is trying to close out with are at this game. So it's imperative that Texas plays well. The crowd's into this game. And Texas kind of puts on a show for these kids. This needs to happen today.
You got 2 weeks to signing day, December the 3rd. It's a Wednesday. And obviously, with 8 spots remaining, or up to 8 spots remaining. Also on the watch along, we keep you up to date with the other big games. Oklahoma obviously beating Missouri before this game was big for the Sooners. Longhorns now behind the Sooners as far as that pecking order for the playoff. And Missouri getting the win would have been nice, but that Oklahoma defense way too much. We've also got Oregon and USC playing right now. Do you guys think the Longhorns would like to see lose that game? It's kind of a coin flip. They're both ahead of Texas. Who do you think for USC or for USC or Oregon? Does it matter?
You want USC to lose for sure. I think you want USC to lose. I mean, look, there's like 7 scenarios out there that have to happen for Texas. USC losing to Oregon's one. You need BYU to drop. You need BYU to lose to Cincinnati, in my opinion, because if they get to 11-1 and lose to Tech again, do they get in at 11-2? If they take a second loss and a third in the Big 12 championship game, we're talking about these low percentage where Texas is. They need a lot of things to happen for them. But there's a number of those things. But I would think USC losing to Oregon is an easy one for me.
Very good.
That's tough. That's the tough thing. Just because losing last week, you've lost the right to be concerned about anybody else because you didn't handle your business. I mean, that's the tough thing about having 3 losses at this point is you don't control it anymore.
You're right, and Oklahoma does give them credit. I know Texas beat them on a neutral field, but their win at Alabama, they seized the opportunity and seized that spot. Texas was unable to do so. So our first quarter will get underway. It's presented by Backer, the Backer brand, officially licensed Longhorn gear, and it is great stuff at Backer.com. Arkansas and Texas, Longhorns had the coin toss there. I did not see or hear who won the toss, but Arch Manning fired up and ready to go in the home burn orange.
Texas won and deferred. Texas won the toss and deferred.
All right, so the Longhorns will play defense first. No Anthony Hill in this game, guys. Ruled out. Obviously, was questionable all week. That means a little more Trey Moore standing up, playing linebacker. Leonga Lafau and Ty Anthony Smith see a lot of field time today against a very good Arkansas offense. Their defense is not good, but their offense is pretty damn dynamic.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And look, they can run the football. They can throw the football. It's going to be interesting to see how Petrino calls this game against Texas because their left tackle is going to struggle against Colin Simmons. I think Texas has an edge at 3 positions on the Arkansas offensive line versus Texas defensive line. It's very similar to Vanderbilt in that regard. I thought Texas had some decided advantages. I'm going to be very interested to see what Bobby Petrino does. I think he's going to – wouldn't shock me if he didn't run at Colin Simmons a little bit. Wouldn't shock me if he doesn't move the pocket a lot around that. I wouldn't shock me if he didn't run a little read action at Colin Simmons too, just to slow him down, get him thinking a little bit. It's not really what Petrino does a lot, but he'll bring out everything he has in this game. There's no doubt about it. And this game, we'll see how it goes, but this game could very well come down to which secondary plays better today. Because I think both of these teams are going to have real opportunities in the passing game as long as Arkansas can handle the Texas pass rush.
Okay, Jeff, what do you think keys to the game for the Longhorns?
On offense, it's help your quarterback out. When the ball hits you in the hands, you got to make the catch. There was way too many yards and points left on the field, and we're already off to not so much of a great start here. And then defensively, you got to limit the explosive plays that Taylor Green could. Taylor Green can hurt you with design runs or scrambles. You just got to try to limit their explosive plays, and you're already off to a pretty terrible start trying to do that.
All right, 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line is how the game will begin. The Longhorns, as that stay there's a breakaway run on the first play of the game. That's not ideal. Michael Taff is the last line of defense. Not an auspicious way. The crowd was fired up. The sidelines was fired up, and Washington goes big time on that first play into Texas territory down to the 34-yard line. Michael Taff, that's going to be a touchdown. That's where that linebacker position missed a gap, and that was too easy. Let him go. Foul got blocked out, and Michael Taff was the last guy back there.
Yeah, 41-yard run.
This is the second leading rushing team in the SEC. In SEC play, they're over 200 yards a game on the ground, and they rip off a big one on the first play of the game. Colin Simmons coming off the field here on this second down.
Somebody sitting in the living room where I'm doing this says Texas only had 10 defensive players on the field, and then I did start counting when he said that, and that was correct. So luckily that was an incomplete. Wow. Arkansas is better.
Well, that might be our answer to how are they going to come out. Are they going to be focused and ready to play, or are they going to come out with 10 guys on the field? How do you think that? How does that even happen? To only have 10 guys on the field? Don't they know they're starting? Like, I don't know what's happening.
Gameplay too. I mean, look. The good news is Texas is Arkansas struggles on 11 versus 10. We know that now, so maybe we should go back to that at some point in the game. Bobby Petrino.
Right, Ethan Burke with a nice play on second down. That's going to force a 3rd and long here. Longhorns have rallied. Yeah, it helps to have the number of players on the field.
Generally.
Good job.
Even Norman Dale wasn't successful with 4 on the field, 4 on the court.
Okay, Longhorns at a third and 9 now can force a field goal, which after a 43-yard run to start the ball game with 10 men on the field, that would be a win for Texas to force 3 and out at that point.
There you see the Texas. Look, Arkansas tackles are going to struggle against Texas in this game. Texas had multiple wins on that 3rd and long. If Texas can get Arkansas consistently in 3rd and 9, or 3rd and longs, I should say, Texas edge guys are going to win in this game. They just are. I think interior, they can beat a couple of the guards as well, which Ethan Burke did in the NASCAR package there. Taylor Green's going to be running for his life if it's a lot of 3rd and longs in this game. Arkansas's offensive line, despite Sam Pittman being the head coach originally and building this team, is not very good at the tackle spot.
Yeah, and I was looking at their starting line. They're not very big. I mean, they're barely, all of them barely over 300 pounds. And it's a 51-yard field goal attempt here for Scott Starzik, and he's a pretty good kicker. And this was 50-plus, but it's straight down the middle. And Arkansas is going to make it and take a 3-0 lead. So one play led to a 3-point opportunity, long run on a busted play by the Longhorns with not enough men on the field, but a field goal after that. And you're right. I mean, if the Longhorns can win those 1st and 2nd downs, guys, they're going to be able to rush this passer, as you said, Jerry, Jerry, a lot like the Vanderbilt game. They were able to win those early downs and then let the pass rush get after Diego Pavia. Look like they could do the same here in this game if they can get 10 guys on the field.
Yeah. I mean, 3rd and long with 11, we got a chance.
Yes, and number 1 coming off the edge. I'm sure that'll be addressed. I don't know who the 11th person was that wasn't ready to play. But all right, Longhorns will get the ball here in our first quarter, brought to you by Backer Brands. And make sure you scan that QR code there with that Backer merchandise. You're going to want to check that out. Holiday season is here. Put it on your wish list for Christmas. I promise you're going to want that gear. Those really, really, really well-made pullovers and jackets and sharp looking. They even have the white pullover like Sark's wearing right now on the sidelines. Check those out. Great looking stuff from Backer Brands, BCKR. Created by college football fans, for college football fans at backer.com. All right, here we go. The beautiful day, by the way. Tailgate was couldn't ask for better weather in Austin. If you're not in the ATX today, watching us here all over YouTube, it's about 75 degrees, humidity's down, and ideal for the fifth of 6 home games. Ryan Nibble will get it out to about the 19-yard line for the Longhorns' first drive, and Arch Manning will come out. And safe to say, guys, against Georgia last week, he wasn't the problem. I mean, I thought he played really well last week, and his receivers let him down, and the passing game got hot, and then Kirby just took the ball away from Texas and the Georgia Bulldogs. But Arch was by no means the problem last Saturday.
No, you're just going to have problems. I mean, when you can't run the football with any level of consistency, which has been the case for Texas most of the year, you're just going to put way too much on your quarterback. And look, even as good as Arch is, and this is where I think Texas needs to try to get the game today. When you turn it into a drop back passing game against a team that's got the kind of athletes up front like Georgia, it's just not a battle you're going to win. That's why Texas needs to turn it into that kind of game for Arkansas. If it's a Taylor Green drop back game, that's advantage you, but you can't let them have their playbook open on the majority of their snaps. It's a pretty good start right here.
Yeah, it's about the 4th game in a row they've started with a little quick screen out to some variety of that play. And Ryan Wingo catches it. Parker Livingston, now it's Emmett Mosley coming off the left side, and the Longhorns are out towards midfield on 2 pass plays, one to Ryan Wingo, one to Emmett Mosley, the Stanford transfer, now going with a little tempo.
That's offsides by 7 yards.
Unlike last week, you will be able to have a perimeter screen game.
Yeah, I heard Bobby Petrino's comments this week in his game week press conference talking about the screen game, and that's one of their focuses defensively. But, this is where they really struggle at Arkansas. That's why they're 2-8. Their defense is really, really bad. They can score with anybody, but their defense is leaky, to say the least, and doesn't have a lot of talent on that side of the ball. But, Texas now going to get a free 5 yards as they bluff the blitz. I will say for Arkansas, guys, they're 0-6, but all of their conference losses have been – the largest was a 9-point loss to Auburn. Everything else has been 3 points, and last week a point to LSU. Played Aggies within a point, so they fight. They're just not as talented as the team across from them typically.
Well, it's kind of like Mississippi State. They just do things bad football teams do. I mean, I'll watch the end of that Arkansas Mississippi State game where they had like 19 penalties, and here we go, Texas on the board.
Yeah, Arch Manning did DeAndre Moore. So Longhorns take the early lead, and if we're ahead of you, we'll pause a minute. But a 46-yard touchdown after a run by Trey Wisner, and the Longhorns, 3 different receivers catching balls on that from Arch Manning, and the Longhorns are going to take a lead, 71 yards on 3 for 3. DeAndre Moore on the fake screen, and no pass rush whatsoever on Arch Manning. Too easy for the Longhorns who are on the board. They do average 35 points a game at home versus 19 on the road this year, and they've already got 6 on the board here. A quick strike, 46-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, and so they clearly attacked the safety for Arkansas here on this play.
My man had no idea where the ball was.
Yeah, they were attacking the boundary safety on that play on the deep crosser, kind of long post, whatever you want to call that. They were definitely a setup. That play was schemed up to put that boundary side safety in a little compromise or see which way he was going to go. Arch was waiting to see what that boundary safety was going to do in coverage and react to it.
Yeah, then no pass rush whatsoever. Good job by the defensive or offensive line. They faked a screen pass. Arch had a pocket, and then he stepped up in the pocket and was able to let DeAndre Moore clear the safety. And we said Arkansas's got a rough defense. That was a rough defense in the first quarter. Longhorns force a field goal after the long run, and they hit one. 3 different guys, y'all. I mean, Ryan Moore Ryan Wingo catches the first pass. Then it's Emmett Mosley and then DeAndre Moore in between a run by Trey Wisner. But that's what you want to see. Spread the ball around. Arch off to a good start.
But see, and it's not just that Sark called the touchdown play while I'm saying this, but you look at that, the play call made sense because they've gone to that screen to Wingo so much that if you're that safe, like your eyes are automatically going to divert right there. And then DeAndre Moore just running that backside post out of the slot. I mean, that thing was wide open. So it's a
good play call, good design.
Your base plays set up your shots. It's got to be layered like that.
All right, real quick in the break, let me tell you about high-quality, officially licensed Texas Longhorn apparel, clothing, and gear. It's the Backer collection from Backer Brands. Introducing. They're about a year old. Backer's founded by a group of buddies who love college football like you do. They enjoy talking trash, but wearing great-looking gear. What they don't like is flimsy fan merch that you buy off the rack somewhere. Look, they've worked, this group has worked in the outdoor industry for years. Some of the world's most beloved brands. They created legit gear that is built to last. And as football fans, you can understand that it's got to be, you want the same standard, right? When it's a cold weather game or a weather game of any kind, you want to still rep your Longhorns and wear the burnt orange, but it's got to be up to a standard. And a lot of times you're not going to find that in typical places, whether it's a sideways rain at the Cotton Bowl or frigid games in Waco back in the day or blistering hot September openers. Make sure you're getting that great stuff. Backer Brands, they make it better. And then they're going to represent your team as well. Absolutely great looking stuff. The beer, they believe at Backer, they make better gear because you deserve better gear, and they're big believers in it. Holiday season is right around the corner. Christmas will be here for you. Check out those hats. Check out the pullovers, those parkas and the zip ups. Great looking stuff. They got that warm insulated cap. Good stuff from Backer. There's the QR code right there in the top corner of our screen. Make sure you check that out. And every purchase of a piece of gear today, while the broadcast is happening, will get you a free hat. So one of those cool looking hats. Waterproof one. The bucket hat is cool as well. Check that out. Backer, bckr.com. That's bckr.com. It's Backer Brands for Longhorn fans. Put it on your Christmas list. Let your family know you want some of that Backer gear, or get it for that favorite Longhorn in your family. All right. Appreciate that. Super.
Yeah. Kozer 7. Thank you for that. Arch is just a dude. He'll be dangerous next year with OL improvement. I think year 2 starting is the biggest thing in that, but he is just playing. He is playing at a much higher level. He did a good job manipulating, moving in the pocket there, stepping up into the pocket, keeping his eyes down the field, still looking that boundary safety off, and then coming back with the deep ball behind him. So a lot of that play was on Arch Manning's eyes too, getting that safety, that boundary safety to drift toward the sideline and opening up that backside corner route, post route, whatever you want to call that. Not really a post route, but across the field deep ball.
Yeah, it was good. And the line had to give him time to do all that, which was good. Didn't even get touched. And they've got some decent pass rushers at Arkansas, but nothing like Texas has. And here come the Longhorns on defense for the second time. Let's see if they can come out with 11 guys and not give up a big chunk play. Either way, it feels like the offense can kind of light up the scoreboard today on a perfect weather day, fast track. Weather won't be a factor whatsoever outside of maybe a high sun as far as punts and things of that nature. But defense has to come to play with no Anthony Hill today.
I think that's why Texas had 10 on the field, just for Anthony Hill to make it feel like he was out there.
The missing man formation.
The missing man formation. Exactly right. That was done on purpose, clearly.
Well, let's not do that again. Tribute is in the books. Noted.
Wide open. Arkansas tight ends they don't catch a lot of balls, but when they do, they average over 20 yards a catch. And there's another one.
You're a couple plays ahead of me, Jerry. So you go ahead and lead. That's okay. I'm just watching on the app, so a little bit behind. But you can. You saw the tight end play action to the tight end that got free on the linebacker again.
Yeah, out of 12 personnel.
It looked like Michael Taft got sucked in that time, and he was the deepest of the deep, and that was another chunk play. They got a 43-yard run and now a 30-yard pass and catch against this Texas defense. They rack up yards, man. They're impressive. You just look at their stat page, but then as Jeff said, they do dumb things in dumb times while moving the football typically. There's Cole Brevard with a nice play on defense.
Yeah, Bobby Petrino's a guy that still runs the draw a little bit. I like it. I think he's about as good a play caller as there is in college football. I think he has a great feel as a coach, as a play caller. Always have, whether that's as an OC or a head coach. He's got some of the best feel I've seen in college football from a play calling standpoint. Maybe him and Lane.
In-game play calling instincts, right?
Yeah, they're light years ahead of other guys, Lane and Bobby.
Man, I know we make our all gas jokes, but dude, Texas may need to score in the mid-30s to win this game because
they're getting gashed. That time it was Ethan Burke, I think, crashing down on the quarterback read, and no one contained Taylor Green that time. That was again way too easy.
I think they're going to run Reed at Texas because they know Texas edge pass rushers are going to win. They know those guys are going to be playing up the field today, and I think they're going to run a lot of read action at Texas edges today. I really do. It's a throw. It's a kitchen sink. Throw everything at it. You got it. Throw everything at you got it.
Yeah, that was Ethan Burke over pursued, and then Michael Taft missed a tackle in the open field. This defense has to bow up now as they are crossing into the 20-yard line, but they've already got 3 big chunk plays, 2 on the ground and 1 through the air. Only 3 points, but Arkansas already has almost 100 yards of offense here in 2 drives.
First, second and 5 play coming up there, but going to be 1st and 10 at 12.
What are you watching on, Jerry?
The ABC feed for me is ahead. It's weird. It's like our feed, our in-game feed on the board is ahead of the TV feed.
All right, they're going to review this play if Sharp got 2 hands under that ball down at the 12-yard line as Arkansas come right back at Texas, who took a 7-3 lead. But this is coming pretty quick.
Yeah.
Incomplete?
That should – yeah. I mean, I've only seen the one angle, but that ball hit the ground. Yeah, but what do I know? I'm not an official, and I'm not in the booth, and those guys have done a magical job in the SEC this year. I don't think they've missed one.
No complaints. They're going to come look at this. Yeah, if they have a good angle, it'll probably be incomplete. Do want to tell you that Tito's Handmade Vodka is also a big part of On Texas Football, our watch along, and all the programming. America's favorite vodka for a reason, known for great vodka, giving back and doing good for dogs. Distilled, bottled by 5th generation. Incorporated, Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly, the ultimate game time cocktail. So make yourself one here as the Longhorns are up 7-3. It looks like it bounced right there. By the way, Oregon, USC 7-7 already midway through the first quarter. Both have put touchdowns on the board.
Yeah, that's an incomplete pass.
Don Chino said, do we need Vanderbilt to lose today, Jerry? They either need to lose to Kentucky today or at Tennessee next week. They definitely need to lose another game. There's a few scenarios out there, for Texas, assuming they win today and upset A&M next week, to have any shot of being the 9-3 team that gets in. I do think.
What's your thought on the conversation surrounding if Lane Kiffin coaches the Egg Bowl and leaves? And what if they lose the Egg Bowl? There's a report by Ross Dellinger this week that the anger in the Ole Miss's locker room is real by the players because of how this is playing out.
Yeah.
And, that they could lose that game in Starkville if their head's not on straight. And they lose that game, get to 2 losses, and they don't have a head coach. That could be – remember, Florida State got held against when Jordan Travis got hurt.
And they have, that would be 2 losses on a weak schedule. Like that's the thing with Ole Miss is them and Missouri have the best 2 schedules as far as a path to starting the season, a path to the SEC championship game or college football playoff for the teams that were kind of not favored to get there. And so look, if Ole Miss lost at Mississippi State, it gets very interesting at that point. I mean, that's
if Lane Kiffin isn't going to be the coach. I mean, that's you just talked about his play calling prowess. I mean, that's the committee has a precedent on that with Florida State a couple of years ago when they were undefeated and didn't get in when their quarterback got hurt. All right, here's a big 3rd and 5 for the Razorbacks. Going to run some option, little shovel pass, and it's going to be 4th down. We'll see if Bobby Petrino decides to go for it or take a field goal. He probably feels like he's got to go for it here against this Texas offense.
You're at least going to try to draw them off here. I mean,
Why wouldn't you?
Field goal, wow.
Yeah, they very well might.
I mean, he's taking the points here. He must think this is only going to be a 38-37 game and not into the 40s.
Well, Texas got another win after giving up 2-3 chunk plays again on that drive. They bow up an incomplete pass on a wide open one. That was on Taylon Green with the incompletion, and now the field goal kicker will try to make it 7-6.
But I mean, here's the thing: two series for Arkansas. Arkansas has 102 yards in the game, but they're 0 for 2 on third downs. So we're very much bending, but then we're not breaking. We forced 2 field goals.
Hey, do you guys know who's wearing the green dot with Anthony Hill out?
That is a good question.
I have not seen.
And hopefully,
obviously for the audience that doesn't know, the green dot would be the communication, the person communicating with the sidelines that then calls the plays on the field. That's normally Anthony Hill.
Yeah.
Where Arch has it on offense.
We'll see. I would think they would go to LaFau. LaFau would be my number one, but they could go to Taft.
Yeah, we'll try to get some intel on that. If someone out there knows, let us know. If you've seen anybody wearing the green dot, it'll be on the back of their helmet. All right, first quarter, 7-6. Both teams moving the football. And a first quarter brought to you by Backer Brands, bckr.com. Longhorn fans, college football fans, I love great gear. Don't settle for flimsy gear. I'm telling you, these guys have been in the outdoor game for a long, long time. Quality is what Backer's all about. If you know that the stuff that they've been a part of, that group, big time stuff, great stuff that it's gonna last you a long, long time. A lot of football seasons with that Backer gear. I can promise you that. Proudly repping that burnt orange. So check it out. And everybody that purchases something today, a piece of gear will get a free hat as part of the Backer deal. So check that out, backer.com. Great people right there. All right, what happened to our defense? Yikes. Yeah, well, look, I mean, communication, part of it. At the same time, you lined up with 10 guys to start the ball game. That can't be auspicious to have your head in the game here against the Bobby Petrino offense.
Let's not lose sight of the fact you're missing an early round NFL guy linebacker in the middle of your defense who's been your communication center, which hurts. And Jerry, I thought we were pretty explicit throughout the week, man. Arkansas can move the ball.
Yeah.
And they can score points. I mean, they're top 5 in the country in yards per play. They're top 15, top 20 in yards per game. They're second in the country in explosive plays. So, I mean, they can move the ball. As we saw in the first Texas series, though, their problem is their defense is horrible.
I can't recall a game where we kind of talked about a game all week, and the conclusion I came down to was which porous secondary plays the best is going to be the difference in a game. That's kind of where I'm at, is which porous secondary plays the best today may be the advantage in this game. But I do think Arkansas is going to have a very difficult time stopping Texas, period. Texas is going to have to almost give this game away with turnovers to me. I know Arkansas is moving the football right now, but Texas, if they play a clean offensive game in terms of turnovers, based on that first drive, if they don't score 38 to 41 points, I'd be surprised. I mean, Arkansas, that was pretty defenseless on the first drive.
Well, and that's why I don't understand Petrino taking the points there. I mean, you mentioned it, Jerry. As undisciplined as Texas has been, I would at least try to draw them off sides, at least brought my offense back out.
You're 2-8 and 0-6.
Exactly. You have nothing to lose. And if you're Bobby Petrino, you're probably out of there after next week's game anyway. So,
yeah, what are you guys hearing on the Arkansas gig? Obviously, it's all about Lane Kiffin right now, and Florida. It's kind of like a 5-star recruit that everybody's chasing. He's going to go to signing day coming up next Saturday. What are you guys hearing about Arkansas?
I'll tell you what's a bad sign for Arkansas. James Franklin took Virginia Tech. I mean, when your AD comes out and say, "Hey, we don't have what we need here," multiple times, that's a tough thing for a head coach that's going to make a move that's looking at you to say, By the way, that interior, that nose tackle is a massive dude out of Georgia. Holy, whatever you want to end that term with. That guy is massive. But I just think Arkansas's AD has put them in a really tough position to start. But Arkansas is a tough football job in the SEC. There's not enough talent in your state. Where's your recruiting map really? That big dude is wow. He is moving people. I mean, geez.
Big 95, yeah.
I mean, wow.
That thing got bubbled up that time by the tackle. A little outside zone by Trey Wisner gets nothing. It'll be second down.
Man, it feels like RPOs are first downs in this game, like every single snap.
I'm sure I'm getting ahead of myself, man. Arch may throw for 4 bills today. Like it's
Ryan Lingo, a little RPO game out to the 40-yard line.
Way to jinx him, Jeff. It's going to be 385.
I know.
It's going to be 385. He's going to come up 1 first down short. 1 explosive short.
But no, Jerry, you're right. Like that I don't think people realize how tough of a job that is. Ryan Silverfield from Memphis, his name was attached to it.
Yeah.
I mean, heard Ed Orgeron's name attached to it. But I mean, if Lane Kiffin takes the LSU job, does Orgeron join that staff? It's just not.
Yes.
And plus,
I also have heard Eric Morris up at North Texas, and that guy can find quarterbacks.
Well, that's the thing. That's what makes Eric Morris very favorable for a job. Is nowadays how many guys are hired, whether it be an OC or head coach, that can bring a really good quarterback with them. And he's got a really good young quarterback. A guy that never started a varsity game, by the way.
Yeah, Vandergrift. He got behind Mike Adams' kid, Deuce.
Yeah.
He was in line, and then Mike Adams' kid transferred in, and he ended up having to play safety. But he stuck with it.
Dean Eisner, 5186. Who is the type of cute quarterback playing right now in college football that reminds you of Diabell? Let me think about that for a second. I need to think about that. That's actually a really good question. Let me think about that one. Oh, man. Oof. Man, is Arkansas secondary. This is the first time all gas, no brakes is going to show up this year.
There's some gas against Vanderbilt, I think. But, yeah, this is coming easy. Now it's Emmett Mosley. Another chunk play for the Longhorns down to the 30-yard line. Arch Manning, 5 for his first 5, 111 yards and a touchdown. His quarterback rating here in the first quarter is 352.5.
I mean, at this level, it probably doesn't get a whole lot easier than that.
Nope. Yeah, it's just no pressure, wide open receiver. That's a 7-on-7 throw. I
mean, that's
Longhorns already up to 124 yards of total offense. Not much of a run game yet, but that's not surprising, and they haven't really needed it. And here's C.J. Baxter. He'll get about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7.
This game's reminding me of a Texas high school football game right now. All the games are like 50-48, 48-45. It has the feeling of a Texas high school football score.
It's like one of those, was a Rockwall Heath, a Rockwall Denton Ryan Geyer games where Jackson Smith and Jigba goes for like 300 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Jerry, who's your favorite in high school football for 6A this year?
Well, and I find it amazing. I know some people in the chat don't care, but Ridge Point was ranked number 1 in 6A by some people. There was no chance. And then they end up playing North Shore last night and lose 38-7. So, I mean, if you look, I think it's the usual people. Summer Creek, who beat North Shore pretty badly. Walks, you're up in DFW, your normal favorites, those teams. I don't think anything's going to change this year. I really don't.
People in Austin think Lake Travis has a chance with their defense.
Nah, yeah, they might.
Westlake already out, by the way, as we're seeing Michael Taff and Ethan Burke out there. Westlake's already out. Westlake's quarterback, by the way, committed to Ole Miss. I wonder if he wonders what Lane Kiffin's up to.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, Longhorns down to the goal red area, and it's Arch is 6 for 6 for 125 yards and a touchdown.
Man, it's this drive, and we love C.J. Baxter as a leader, and it just shame he got hurt, but he just does not have
the burst.
He does not have the burst he had pre-injury. Like he would have scored on this drive already in the pre-major knee injury.
You wonder if that can ever come back with a full off season of workouts and working with speed coaches and agility coaches, get that back, that twitch. But you hope, because he was some kind of freshman.
Yeah. Second and 4 on the Arky 4 coming up here. Texas timeout. 147 yards of offense for Texas. 2 of 2 on third down. And they're averaging 11.3 yards per play right now. No penalties with 2:38 to go in the first quarter. Arkansas is 1 for 5, but 249 yards of offense in this game. So Bobby Burton we're all at an Airbnb. So Bobby and producer Matt are over here, and they think I just jinxed Texas coming out of this timeout, and are clearly saying there's going to be a false start after I just jinxed them.
illegal formation. Something's coming.
The illegal shift. One more time here in the first quarter, let me talk about the Backer brand from our friends at Backer, great partners of us here on the On Texas Football Watch Along. You can throw that graphic up one more time, Matt. As we said, Backer created by college football fans, and they've had companies in the outdoor space for a long time and decided, you know what, we can't find the really high quality Longhorn gear that we want to wear on game day, to wear when it gets cold, to wear at weather games, and just to fill our closets with it. So they made it themselves, and that's what Backer is, bckr.com. They are tremendous. They believe in clean design, using the best materials. They make gear better because you deserve better gear. That's a fact. And they make fan gear worthy of devotion. Every time you purchase a Longhorn piece of Longhorns gear at Backer, too, by the way, Backer.com, they commit 10% of product sales to support the University of Texas student athletes. So 10% of your purchase today or between now and Christmas or for Christmas gifts, 10% of that is going to go to support the University of Texas student athletes, which they're a big backer of, and you can be too with Backer brands. And you see the logo in the top right corner of our screen here on your computer or on your tablet, however you're watching. They do have a QR code right there where you can link through. And in the chat, Matt has pinned the link through to Backer.com and to the contest to win a free hat with a purchase. So check that out. It's in the chat right there, pinned to the top. That's Backer, bckr.com. 10% going to Longhorn students and student athletes. It's Backer.com. Better gear because you deserve better gear. All right, it's a shootout early with 102 yards for Arkansas, 147 for Texas. Longhorns can increase their lead, and if they can execute in the red zone. Arch Manning, red hot so far, guys. He's hardly been touched as well, so give the offensive line a little credit. He's 6 for 6 and completed 4 passes to Emmett Mosley, 2 to Wingo, or 2 to Mosley, 2 to Wingo, 1 to Moore, which was a touchdown, another to Jack Endries. So Longhorns have a chance to go 2 for 2 for touchdowns here in this game.
No, Notre Dame put 35 on Syracuse in the first quarter.
That Grady Brown press conference will be interesting post game.
Yeah,
Notre Dame seems to be rounding into a little bit of form right now, heading into the playoffs. I mean, look, C.J. Carr was a first-year starting quarterback. And I know their schedule is not tough, but C.J. Carr was a first-year starting quarterback. But even in their losses, he showed me a lot of grit and toughness and really big upside. They have the best running back in America. They have one of the best corners in America. I think Marcus Freeman is a great young football coach that's had to learn on the fly as a head coach at the University of Notre Dame. I mean, that's not exactly easy with all the expectations there. The schedule's the only thing that makes it easier on a young head coach at Notre Dame. But they seem to be playing. Looks like they're rounding into playoff form at the right time to me.
4 seconds in the second quarter, they got 42 points, 2 pick sixes and a block punt for a touchdown.
Yeah, that's Chris Ash, their defensive coordinator. Longhorn fans will remember Coach Ash with Tom Herman in Tom Herman's final year.
Whoa! Look at what we got.
Longhorns two drives, 2 touchdowns in the red zone. They're 2 for 2. Well, they didn't get to the red zone the first time. It was a deep throw, but 1 for 1 now in the red zone on end around and little trickeration. Oh man, the Philly special to Arch Manning for a touchdown from his roommate Parker Livingston. That's the Nick Foles Super Bowl play. The end around throwback to the quarterback.
Take that, Shipley and McCoy.
Yeah, love it. Roommate to roommate. But they know what they called it with the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Nick Foles, the Philly special.
Hey, Arch Manning showed some impressive body control there. If quarterback ever,
Arch, that's one of those things like when you're playing with your kids, you throw it up so they have to make a diving catch. Make it a little harder than it needs to be. But that was wide open. Longhorns 2 for 2 on drives, and Arch Manning has thrown a touchdown pass and now caught a touchdown pass, and that was so wide open. Parker Livingston could have just run in. He didn't even have to throw it to his roommate.
He might could have actually reversed field and ran into if he felt like
yeah, he could have just kept running.
He could have just kept handing the ball off to different players and scored on this.
Yeah, the first to Wingo on the end around, and then here comes Parker. And yeah, he could have danced into the end zone. Instead, he threw a touchdown pass. Get that on the ledger.
You know, the way Arkansas is playing defense, it may be like Tecmo Bowl, where your guy can run in a zigzag pattern all up and down the field, and guys are just falling all over themselves. Jerry, I knew their defense was bad. And I've watched Arkansas this year, but this is rough.
It's rough.
High level bad, yeah.
Credit Texas for executing, right? Because you still got to go make plays. We haven't seen Texas do that at some points this year, but man.
Well, so far it's 2 touchdowns for Texas, 2 field goals for Arkansas. Arkansas has moved the ball. They just have not been able to, I'm sure Arkansas fans are still questioning Bobby Petrino not going for it on 4th and 2 within the scoring zone because this is going to be a shootout. You need as many points as you can.
Yeah, for sure. And look, I think as this game moves along for Texas, Bobby Petrino, I mean, he can do it. He's done it before. He's got to call a dang near perfect game because as this game goes on, at the pace this game's going, as many possessions as there look like there's going to be in this game, those Arkansas offensive tackles and guards are going to get worn down. If you think the Texas pass rushers look good in the first 12 minutes of the game, just wait until late second quarter and into the third quarter because this looks like a high possession game. Their offensive line in pass pro is going to have some real issues if it looks like a high possession game. You're going to get tired.
And this right here, I mean, if you're Bobby Petrino, you've got to try to make sure that you can go to your run game.
Gosh.
Yeah.
This says, Jerry, I need your thoughts on Livingston as a quarterback prospect.
Yeah, I mean, no.
Here comes Arkansas on another bad blown defensive assignment. Another missed tackle by Michael Taft. Wow. Michael Taft is missing open field tackles at an alarming rate in this game. I mean, that was just another easy option play right, and Trey Moore over pursued it. And watch Michael Taft come up and just totally olay a tackle. That's not like the Longhorn safety. Got juked by Talon Hill for the second time in the open field. Longhorns are now another chunk play against them, and now it's out to midfield.
But see, there you see Colin Simmons pass rush. These Arkansas tackles have no chance. Bobby Petrino's got to be very careful in this game. If he doesn't give chip help to Colin Simmons on every drop back, Colin Simmons may have 3 sacks in this game.
At this point, Arkansas has no reason to stop running it, and Texas has no reason to stop throwing it.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
The peanut gallery to my right agrees with that, Jeff.
That's true. I mean, Texas hadn't stopped the run yet. They rushed for Arkansas has got 94 rushing yards already. They average about 205 or 203 on the season in the SEC.
If you're
that was interesting. You know who did a great job on that play? That was a read play. Ethan Burke stayed at home.
Yeah, he crashed down hard on a previous play and learned his lesson that time.
Yes,
that was nice.
Did. Yes, he did. That was a straight read play again. If Ethan Burke had crashed, Talon Green was going to keep that football.
Right now, to your point, Jerry, Longhorns into a pass rush situation with leaky tackles on the outside for Arkansas. This is an opportunity. Create something.
Third and 7, can't let them off the hook.
Looks like a little confusion.
Yeah, they're going empty and 3rd and 8. Good pass rush, but Talon Green evades it and gets it downfield, almost into field goal range. Talon Green now 3 for 7, 44 yards, but his damage has been on the ground. He's got 43 yards rushing. All right, good pass rush that time from Colin Simmons from the other side, but still the flush and then the easy completion. Longhorns kind of looking at each other, pointing some fingers a little bit. Who had him? Now 1st down.
Yeah, Petrino will keep you off balance, and that'll be the last play of the first quarter, guys. But Bobby Petrino will keep you off balance about as well as any offensive coordinator or play callers does in college football. He's tremendous.
He is brought to you by Backer Brands, and our first quarter was. Make sure you check that QR code. Look for the link to click through on the chat that Matthew has pinned there. get to know Backer. Every purchase in this game, in this ball game today for us while doing the watch along, we'll get a free cap. So you get some for yourself, and you got a cap for a gift to give away from our friends at Backer. Plus 10% of all sales goes to UT student athletes at backer.com, bckr.com. That is our first quarter. Also wanted to tell you one more time about Tito's Handmade Vodka. They are a proud sponsor of the Texas Longhorns, distilled and bottled by Fifth Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly. 149 yards in the first quarter, guys, for the Arkansas offense. That's by my math. That's a 450-yard some kind of offensive day if the Longhorns don't get control of this thing. But they've only given up 6 points.
Averaging a first down every time you touch the ball. Yeah, I mean
that's 600. That's a 600-yard average. I'm sorry, I had one point too far, but that's a 600 total yard average in the first quarter.
You were told there would be no math involved today, so I don't blame you.
My fault. My fault.
Coach Shipley joins. Coach, I knew that missing Anthony Hill was going to be a big deal, but man, second level on back for the defense is just, I think discombobulated is putting it lightly.
Yeah, it's bad, and we're not being disciplined on our rush lanes. We've heard all week on our podcast, not to rush upfield past the quarterback. And so we handle that just about right. But the defensive tackle gets held up at the line and can't get outside into his lane. But yeah, the running game, I mean, they're on pace for over 400 yards rushing today, which would be obviously an embarrassment. And just like you guys were saying a while ago, it's going to be a horse race. I mean, it's just we're going to have to make a stop or two, and we're going to have to score every possession, it looks like.
How about the offense, Coach? I mean, so far so good. The crisp passing, the line is blocking, and they haven't run the ball much, but really haven't needed to because wide open receivers and Arch Manning's playing very well.
Yeah, I think we can do whatever we want offensively. I think you need to run the ball some this drive. We don't need to be taking deep shots right now because our defense needs to catch their breath, and we need to tire down that defensive line for Arkansas, which you could tell that we've been trying to do. We've been trying to go faster pace than we've been going. Get those big guys tired, especially the big nose like you guys were talking about in the first quarter. He is an animal, so get him tired, and he won't be quite so ferocious.
If you're ready for the jinx, here it comes. If there's a silver lining here, Texas did come into the game. If you look in SEC play, they were 13 out of 16 defenses in the SEC in touchdown rate allowed in the red zone in conference play. They've gotten down there twice. You've held them to 2 field goals. So as long as you keep doing that, you're going to give yourself a chance. At some point, Coach, I mean, Bobby Petrino's got to realize, like, you can't – this isn't a game where you can settle for field goals. You're 2-8. Like, what do you got to lose at this point?
Well, it was like you were saying earlier, Jeff. It's ridiculous. They didn't at least try to get Texas to jump off sides, or something. But I think from now on, you'll probably see him call a more aggressive game.
Yeah, and as Jerry said, Coach, I mean, Bobby Petrino, when he's got you – on your heels a little bit, his instincts at how to keep you off balance even more and call the right play at the right time. That's why he's hung around and been a coach as long as he has. He's really good at that.
I still think for my tacky holiday sweater this year, I think it's going to be the Bobby Petrino neck brace photo.
Yeah, oh yeah,
that's perfect. There's plenty of red in that. He put it on his rash on his cheeks.
Oh, shoot.
All right, now a little belly run that time on 2nd and 1. They'll be 1st and 10. That's a good point there, Trace. Appreciate that. This defense cannot be what's on the field against the Aggies in 6 days. That's for sure. That is true because Marcel Reed, the speed on the outside, their run game. Yeah, this is not what you want. This is not maybe a good tune-up to put this on tape, but they've got to play better.
Jeez, man. Oof.
It's not pretty.
That wasn't a red zone touchdown. It was a 22-yard touchdown, so that's not a red zone touchdown. So I'm off the hook for my jinx there.
Yeah, man. Arkansas with 177 yards and 13 points, and you still wonder why Bobby Petrino did not go for the first down. And there's Michael Taft is having a rough go at safety. He got run over that time. with a chance to make the tackle. He's not having his best game so far into the second quarter. Mike Washington Jr., 22 yards, and it's going to be 14-13.
Yeah, just slow start for Michael, and we cannot have that. We've got to have tackles made by our safeties, because a lot of times, just like that, you're the last line of defense.
Yeah, and if you can get them on the ground there, you have a chance to force another field goal. But obviously that leaks through, and Longhorns need to straighten it up. We knew this offense was good, but it's coming too easy at this point. And that is now 133 rushing yards for Arkansas. 44 through the air, so 177. Longhorns have 151, mostly through the air on the right arm of Arch Manning. We predicted shootout, but man, 27 points, 16 minutes into the ball game is a big number.
That is that's as bad a defensive possession as I've seen this program have in a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep, and that's obviously, our brand of football Sarks talks about. This is not that so far. They're not physically, they don't feel like they're mentally in this game. Heck coach, bad sign when they started the game with 10 men on the field and gave up a big run with one less than they needed. I don't know how that happens.
Unbelievable. I did I really see that? I mean, did that just happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And as you guys were saying, there's no excuse for that. There is no excuse for that at all. It's
Look,
just,
I see
typical of how we're playing defensively.
I see somebody in the comments saying, talk about the coaching. Look, you can talk about coaching so much. At some point, guys have to go out there and make a play. Firing a coach isn't just a fix-all, cure-all magic elixir. At some point, you got to go make a play.
Yeah, coaches can't make tackles for Michael Taft today. I wish they could.
Yeah, and for Michael's sake, those guys are getting to him at the third level too quickly and too often, too easily. They're missing in the back end, and obviously you see the loss of Anthony Hill, but other guys have to step up in this spot. And Longhorns still have the lead here. 14:09 to go. Our second quarter will be brought to you by our friends at Driven Auto Sales, online at drivenoutosales.net. Check out that great website, delivering cars all over Texas, all over the world, and you're all over the country. Your next dream vehicle and favorite vehicle can be found likely at drivenoutosales.net. Check it out today. Great people. Always more than fair.
Art's ready to go. Did you see him waving that camera guy off the field?
Yeah, let's get after it. We got to go with Matt Spores.
He's like, get off the field. We're going.
Yeah, Trey Wisner, a little stretch play here, and it's gonna hit for a little bit. Nice job. Longhorns will get it, win on first down. Go behind Trevor Goosby that time.
Charlie Good with the super chat said, "What has caused this drastic regression on defense?" I think it's a combination of things. The front end and the back end have not been tied together, especially in conference play, and that's gotten exposed. I think that's part of it. I think today, missing Anthony Hill hurts. And then, look, Coach, I don't know what you think about this, but Jerry and I we talked about this before you got here, and Bobby and I talked about it on the tailgate show this morning. This is the kind of game that tests your football character. You're not going to Atlanta. You're probably out of the CFP. You're playing a 2-win Arkansas team. You can easily look forward to the A&M game next week. All the off-field noise. Can you just lock in for 3.5 hours and play a good, complete football game? There's one side of the ball for Texas that's doing that. There's another side that's not right now.
Yeah, and that's been the story of this team this year, Coach. When the defense was playing elite, the offense wasn't. Now the offense is figuring things out, and the defense is leaky. That's it's kind of the roller coaster of frustrations for Longhorn fans, and I'm sure this coaching staff in this 2025 season. All right, Ryan Wingo, a little end around. There's a lot of deception there. That's a run play. Obviously, it's going to go down as a pass, but that's really an extension of their run game. Ryan Niblett on the field, but a little throwback this time. All right, it's going to be second down. Smart of Arch to eat that play. Big 95 wreaking havoc, the big man.
Probably going to need every point you can get today. And
what'd you say about Arch Manning and 400 yards, Jeff?
I did. I jokingly said 4 bills, and he's
he just got another 54 more, and the Longhorns have extended their lead one more time. Got it back to a 1-score lead. Arch Manning is off to a red-hot start.
Why in the world Parker Livingston hadn't been playing, been more targeted at receiver is beyond me. What do you have? 1 target last week, maybe 2?
Not enough, Coach. Oh my
Not enough.
God.
Not enough. And
Look,
that's,
I mean, look at this. You know, they're not. I mean, he needs to be in there a lot. He plays a lot, but he needs to be targeted more. We all talked about that this week.
that's the second big pass play. One to DeAndre Moore that was wide open. This one to Parker Livingston. Parker Livingston threw a touchdown pass to Arch Manning, and now Arch has returned the favor with his roommate, and it is 21-13 Texas. Arch Manning now 8 for 9, 191 yards, 2 touchdowns. His one incompletion was a throwaway when the screen pass was covered. Just threw it at the feet of his receiver prior to that touchdown throw. And the offense is cooking, but see if the defense can make some adjustments here. They did hold Arkansas to 2 field goals, but last time a touchdown. You know, there's got to be. I heard your nice rant this week, Coach, about dogs. Man, they need some dogs on defense right now. They've got to start barking here.
Yeah, they're just puppies right now. They're playing like puppies, big furry puppies. You know,
Cuddly and furry and licking your
furry.
face.
They ain't good. Apparently, they're not going to take a bite out of your leg.
Yeah, that's about next to see. Because, you know, Jeff, if the defense can make some adjustments and get some stops here, this thing could get one-sided. But what you don't want, I used to do play-by-play for arena football, the Austin Wranglers. So this is like that, man. It's just back and forth and back and forth. That's not the game Texas wants to be in with a short week for A&M on Friday.
No, and I think the thing that troubles me most on defense right now is it's almost like guys are thinking, like there's no sense of urgency, just that snap to it. You know, guys are catching blocks and trying to kind of guess where the football is. That's not what you want to see from your defense, especially coming off last week. We talked about it. You know, the defense in the fourth quarter in Athens last week. I mean, Georgia broke your spirit. You know, they had that long drive where, you know, the two fourth down conversions, one by penalty, and then the onside kick. I mean, that's pretty demoralizing for a defense. And Ezra Hookman says, yeah, well, I'm sorry, it wasn't Ezra, but Brave Texas fan says D is playing too slow. Yeah, Coach, when you're thinking instead of reacting, you know, at this level, it can look like you're about a half step too late.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty accurate. We just, as you said, we're just not in sync. Even really the front line and the linebackers don't seem in sync with each other. They're just, you know, we just got too many lanes, and, you know, you should have everybody covering a lane in an area. And it's the defensive lineman's job to keep, one of their jobs is to keep the offensive lineman off our linebackers. And then, of course, the disconnect between our front and then our, you know, the backside is obvious. And, you know, I just kept thinking, sure, they're going to get this fixed this week. But I think at this point, Arkansas, there's no sense, and then stop running the ball. But I think they can pass it as well when they need to.
Yes, you know, you got to take one of the things away at this point, the run or the pass. And right now they're not doing anything. But Arch Manning with some great throws in this first half. He's 8 out of 9. Let me tell you about the second quarter. We appreciate Backer in the first quarter. Driven Auto Sales, great friend and lifelong Central Texan Jeremy Jones and his team. Long-standing motto, a simple one to Driven Auto Sales, is make the used car buying experience more than fair and more than friendly. That's simple at Driven. Quality, variety, customer satisfaction drive everything that they do. I promise you, folks, you won't find a better vehicle at a better price anywhere than drivenoutosales.net. They're based right here south of where I'm at Buda, Texas. But, man, they deliver vehicles, great-looking used vehicles, but lightly used vehicles all over Central Texas, all around Texas, and all around the country. They've sold great vehicles at an outstanding value to buyers like you all through the United States. It's a click away, drivenoutosales.net. It's drivenoutosales.net. Find your dream vehicle, car, or truck. They also come with all cars with a full lifetime powertrain warranty at drivenoutosales.net. All right, so another possession for the Texas defense to bow up here. They have forced a couple of field goals, so those are wins. Same time, three times with the ball, Arkansas scored all 3 times, and they have 177 total yards of offense. And you said it last series, Jeff, that was as poor a defensive performance on a series we've seen from the Longhorns in a long time. I'm sure there were some harsh words on the sidelines in between as Texas went and got another touchdown. Now let's see if this defense comes with some fire and can start barking a little bit at this Arkansas, because one thing they can score and they can move the ball. We knew that, guys, but Arkansas will also make some mistakes if you force them to and can put some pressure on it. Longhorns can win the pressure situation. They just have to get them into some passing situations.
Yeah. Benjamin Peters says in the chat, said Arkansas did this to Tennessee too. It took some time, but eventually the Vols figured out the offense and started getting turnovers. That's exactly what you're talking about. You've got to, if you're Texas, you've got to tighten up on the run defense. And you look, you're not going to be able to defend the run with a light box. I talked about that this morning. I talked about that late in the week. You can't devote too many resources to the pass game because Arkansas, their offensive line actually is pretty good from a metric standpoint. Or in terms of line yards per carry, it's a metric of how effective your offensive line is in the run game. The closer you are to 4 line yards per carry, the better. Arkansas is like 3.5. They're the best in the SEC, top 10 in the country. So they can run the football. They can control the game running it. But if you're Texas, man, you got to get them into predictable passing downs, and then you got to close the door when you got them in 3rd and 7+.
Washington down the running back for the Razorbacks, who has almost 100 yards rushing so far in this game, is looked like we got an injury timeout.
Yeah, that would be bad for them, and it might be good for Texas. I mean, he's the one that just scored the touchdown. He had the run on the first play of the game that ripped off 43 yards. So yeah, he's having himself a ball game between he and Taylor Green. 97 yards for Washington, 43 for Mr. Washington. So gosh, 140 yards between those two players alone.
And then Braylon Russell, who kind of their back, one of their primary backs in their rotation. He's out today. He was on the availability report. He's been out with an injury. So running back depth's getting thin for Arkansas already.
Yep, Texas had a pretty clean injury sheet availability report. Just one player on it. That was Anthony Hill, and he's not playing. Everybody else was clean. Arkansas had 7 guys out, including one of their Braylon Allen, one of the running backs, and now Washington on the ground, and that would be a kind of a gift to Texas, who right now is getting gouged in this run game. Got to take one of these things away from them. And I like that super chat about what Tennessee. I did watch a lot of that Tennessee game, and Tennessee did adjust, and that's what the Longhorns are going to have to do here, because it does feel like Arch Manning is on his way. Arch already has 191 passing yards. He's hit 2 50-yard-ish touchdown throws, and says, is Texas discipline all of a sudden, or just not playing the SEC darling Georgia SEC refs? There you go, Eric. There you go, Eric. That's nice. Yeah, 9 penalties last week, or 10, none so far. Georgia didn't have any in that first half. That's still questionable. Same time, Georgia was the superior team in that game. But yes, officiating was one-sided in that one. So far, pretty clean so far on this one. I'm looking at the penalty yards. It's only one total penalty. That was on Arkansas for 5 yards.
The pre-snap penalties sorry, Coach. The pre-snap penalties are the ones that you got to cut down on.
Yeah, D-Money 983, thank you for the super chat. That's something that Rod Babers and I were talking about earlier this week, and Rod certainly feels like there's a conflict back there somehow, because the type of secondary play we're getting right now is very atypical of Dwayne Akina and his philosophy. He loves man coverage, and he doesn't like playing off and giving cushions, or he's never done that in his career. So that leads to one of two things. It leads to he doesn't trust them. They're not confident enough, or B, they're not athletic enough. And either way, I don't want to be bad talking coaching, but you recruited those guys. You recruited them. If they don't have the confidence that you need, if they don't have the ability that you need, and Sark came out a couple of 3 years ago and said, we want to play more man coverage. We want to recruit these, cover corners. But either they didn't find them, or the guys they thought were the lockdown corners aren't.
And Coach, I think we talked about this when we were on the Thursday live stream together with me, you, and Rod. You've got one of the best pass rushes in the country. You're way too good rushing the passer to be as bad as you are on the back end right now. It's got to tie together better.
All right, Washington Jr. into the
that's not good.
What did it look like, Jeff?
So it looked like he just got his right ankle pinned between the turf and Leonga Lafau's helmet there. A right ankle it bent in a way it's not supposed to.
All right, good defense by the Longhorns that time. To be 2nd and 10 as just threw that one up. Grayson Littleton covered a lot of ground. Longhorns took away the little option play that they had. Shootout in Autzen Stadium, too. Oregon's going to score. It's going to be 21-14. 9 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. They've already got 5 touchdowns between USC and Oregon. Oregon up 21-14 in that one. This one's 21-13. Texas. Longhorns looking to get a stop for the first time on defense.
Yeah, once again, the inside, the middle of our defense in the secondary is soft, and it has been the last several games. There's nobody there. Linebackers aren't getting underneath it or whatever.
Yeah, that's just an open hole that's too easy. Give up leverage, too, on the inside when there was no one there. That's Jelani McDonald giving up the inside and no linebacker there to help out, and that's an easy pitch and catch. That's the thing, guys. It's one thing to give Arkansas credit, but this is too easy for them right now.
I'll say this. I'll take this as a positive. Jonah Williams is playing a lot early in this game. Seen a lot of number 9 on the field.
No, it's that talented recruiting class. They're not freshmen anymore now. Jonah Williams different in that he did play baseball, so missed the spring. He also has been battling an injury, so missed a bunch of practice time. But too talented not to be on that field when you're giving up yards like they are. So this will be a big 2nd and 10.
Just chunk play after chunk play after chunk play, man.
Yeah, I'm a full play ahead of you guys.
Yeah, I'm just on the YouTube app, so I'm not sure why I'm so far behind. But either way, yeah, it's a lot of grass being chewed up here by this Arkansas team, and that's, again, right in the soft part of the defense. Same as you just said, Coach. There's a lot of miscommunication going on. This wide open guy.
Well, that's a tough play to defend. It's a play that Sark likes to run. It's a delay to the tight end lineup on the right side of the field. Then once everybody clears out, then he goes up the opposite hash.
Yeah, his blocker turns into receiver, and there's no one to take him. Yeah, too easy. Yeah, Sark does run that play quite a lot. Longhorns need to force a field goal here now, as Arkansas is up over 230 total yards here in the middle of early in the second quarter.
Man.
Whoop.
I think we're lost. Right now, it looks like on defense we're lost. I mean, I don't know if that's Anthony Hill's experience not being out there on the field, but we can't stop the run or the pass.
Yeah, and that's not been the case for Pete Kwiatkowski the last few years. They've been able to make teams one-dimensional typically, take something away. And we talked about earlier, Coach, I don't think we know who's wearing the green dot, but that communicator, that guy that gets the play and gets everybody arranged, it feels like they're having a real hard time with that right now. And as Jeff said, kind of thinking more than just playing right now.
Man, right. Xavier Filsame's very lucky he didn't get flagged for late hit out of bounds.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then he just looked like he kind of stood over him for a bit. And I was worried he'd get a flag for taunting.
Yeah, that was my concern, because it felt like Taylor Green was just trying to slow down, and Xavier ran up on his back on accident, and they just went down together. But, yeah, the stand over the top of him was the thing that I was worried about there.
Right. Arkansas got 4th and 5. I want to see what Petrino does, because I guess you can kick the field goal, but
yeah, Arch Manning's already got to.
Oh gosh. Well, so much for 4th and 5.
Defensive holding, my mercy.
Well,
yeah, they were lucky not to get a PI earlier on the play before with Manny Muhammad. But that time they get Warren Roberson, kind of a makeup call a little bit, and it's going to be a fresh set of downs in an 8-point ball game.
It's like we're watching a video game.
You know what this game also reminds me of, guys, is because what was watching this game when they played Texas A&M in Fayetteville. It was like this. They just went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. A&M, it kind of felt like they were going to have to score every time they got the ball, and Marcel Reed did. That may be the case here with his Longhorn defense looking lost and making a lot of mistakes right now. Offense may have to bail it out. It's been the other way around for a long time this year. But I did watch that Arkansas A&M game, and it ended up 45-42.
Yeah,
did you guys see the holding?
I did not.
I have not seen a replay of it yet.
Yeah, they showed a replay, And if it's who I thought I was looking at, I certainly didn't see.
Yeah. Roberson kind of grabbed him and he fell down.
Oh, okay.
But it's third down. You stop them. You're going to bring up fourth down, and then your backside corner gets a holding penalty 30 yards away from the ball.
I wonder how many penalties Roberson has this season.
It's a lot. I'd have to go look, but yes, a lot of them are on special teams, and a big one last week in that long kick return from Ryan Niblett that was taken off the board by a hold. And,
they're drive killers. They're drive killers. It seems like every time.
Yeah, and now Jeff said, that play was not going anywhere near his guy. They were rolling to the right, and he gets a hold on the other side of the field. That's concerned. That's frustrating for sure for the Longhorns.
Coach, what's interesting here, we'll see how Arkansas finishes this drive, but I'm a big play differential guy. Anybody that's watched these live streams with me knows that. Arkansas is +7 right now in play differential. I mean, you're thinking, hey, if you're Sark, you may want to run the ball, try to give your defense a rest. But shoot, the alternative is, man, I just need to try to score points. I may need to score points on every drive.
Yeah, you do, but you've got to try to run the ball and give your defense a break. You have to mix it up well enough.
And this is one of those games, guys, comparing it to that Aggie game a month ago for Arkansas, but also arena football. Sark's got to be thinking about the end of the half, start of the half kind of thing, the final four, next four, because you can steal a possession with that. Longhorns do get the ball coming out of the half in a game where your defense is struggling. You can swing the game with those two possessions, but we'll see. We're about the 8-minute mark of the second quarter, and they're going to force a 3rd and goal here.
Yeah, this 3rd and goal is going to be a huge play, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's
and then it'll be decision time as well, possibly.
My screen has flashed, and I don't think it goes good for the Longhorns. If you're watching our live stream, you can see it. Now we'll watch it on 3rd and goal, but Taylor Green giving the Longhorns fits right now. I mean, at some point, you wonder if Bobby Petrino will go for 2 and try to get this game tied up. The way this offense is performing.
I mean, you're 2-8. Like I know I keep going back to that, but throw the analytics out the window. Like you're the underdog. You're on the road. You're a 2-win team.
Yeah, agreed. That time it was the freshman Landon Jackson, whose brother, of course, played at Arkansas, who crashed down from the end and left the outside uncontained. And Taylor Green, scampers in from 4 yards. As 40 he bought the play fake with Washington back in the game now. And then that made it easy with the tight end coming to block, and he gets the block for him, and then he's in the end zone. So it's 21-20, and the Longhorns are in a shootout. And that's why I say, guys, Coach, to your point about running the ball, I mean, you'd like to take the last 7 minutes of this quarter and control the football, see if you can, score before the half and then get the ball coming out of half. That's kind of the kind of mindset I think you have to have in this game, the way your defense is struggling.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Going back to that touchdown run, that was just, the defensive end, they had to have worked on that play. That's a play that, excuse me, a team with that athletic of a quarterback is going to have. And it's not the first time they've run it. And to be in no man's land, you can't stop anybody where you are. It's just a lack of focus and a lack of discipline, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you're the defensive end. I mean, your job is to contain your edge, and they're getting overly aggressive, and Bobby Petrino and company and Taylor Green are using that against him. Let's give that super chat again. That was good. Good debate, good conversation here on the On Texas Football Watch Along. How the heck has D gotten so bad so fast? What's going on? Offense has been lights out. Definitely improving. D getting worse. That's true. And that's been true. It feels like, Jeff, that since the fourth quarter of the Vanderbilt game, I mean, you go back to that game 3 weeks ago now, it was 34-10. The defense was pretty much pitching a shutout on Diego Pavia outside of the one drive before the end of the first half that they scored a touchdown, but they were skunking Pavia and company. And we know that fourth quarter was a nightmare. Last week, defense came out slow and ended up giving up 35 points. And now here they are, 20. They haven't been the same since that fourth quarter of the Vanderbilt game, it feels like.
Yeah, when it's this bad, and coach is spot on. I mean, it tells you your eyes are in a bad spot. You're not paying attention to your keys. This is a top to bottom, systemic failure right now. I mean, when it's this bad, I'm a firm believer. When it's this bad, everybody's got a hand in it. The equipment manager, the secretary, position coaches, everybody's got a hand in it when it's this bad. I mean, again, Coach, this is, we've seen this defense give up plays, and at this level, you're going to give it up. But like, this is
candy from a baby.
No, you got to go back to Sark's first year to find the last time it was this bad.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, when everybody wanted PK's head. I mean, Eddie says didn't have the personnel, but to your point, Jeff, everybody's got a hand. Michael Tapp's one of your best players and surest tacklers. He's had a really rough first half here.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, I also want to ask you this, Jeff. Tell me your thoughts after the Ohio State game on our defense. Forget about what happens the rest of the season. After that game, what did you think about our defense?
I was pretty fired up about it.
I was too.
Because with the exception of some penalties and, Jalen Gilbo gave up the one touchdown to Carnell Tate. I mean, you've given up a touchdown to probably a first-round receiver. I was excited, but, I mean, we're being honest, Coach, I was excited about the run game after the Ohio State game too.
Yeah.
Good
well,
point.
I think for most of October, the defense won them along with the special teams, won them the Kentucky game. That was huge. And Kentucky's not a great offense, obviously. And let's say this about Arkansas. They are one of the more dynamic offenses in the SEC. And, when they're playing like this, they are dynamic, and their numbers would tell you that metrics-wise. But at the same time, just Longhorns, not even providing much resistance right now. Fortunately, they did force 2 field goals early, so they still have a lead, and they have the ball. Like, I'm serious, guys. With 7:18 to go, second quarter, brought to you by Driven Auto Sales here on our On Texas Football Watch-Along. If I'm Sark, I'm trying to go on a 7-minute and 18-second drive here and see if I can grind this thing out and take some air out of this game. I know you don't want to slow down what Arch Manning is doing. He's 8 for 9 for almost 200 yards already. He's thrown 2 touchdowns and caught 1. But man, you gotta start trying to save your defense. Best defense being your offense potentially right now against this bad Arkansas team on defense.
But just like the scenario you were talking about, you go back to the Kentucky game where the defense was carrying the offense. The shoe's on the other foot now. The offense, your margin for error is so small right now. As good as you're playing, it feels like you've got to be pretty much perfect with the way the defense is playing.
Yeah. And you'd like a long, sustained drive here, not the big shot plays.
Not a 3 and out.
Well, and now it's going to be second and, there's the first real incompletion. Arch had been 8 for 9 up to that point, but that time the one incompletion was a little screen pass that got snuffed out that he threw it on the ground. That one was the first incomplete pass that he tried to complete, and now it'll be 3rd and 6, and now it looks like it's going to be 4th and 6. That is not what the Longhorns needed with 7. I just said go on a 7-minute drive. They went on a 3-play drive that took 30 seconds. They're not even 30 seconds.
It's about a 7-second drive.
Because they brought pressure that time. Bobby Petrino's team dialing up the pressure, brought the corner blitz off the edge and forced it early, and Emmett Mosley couldn't corral it, and the Longhorns are going to punt the ball. Not a good situation right there.
Man, you see, that's what I was talking about. You got to help your quarterback. You got to help your quarterback right there. And Emmett Mosley's played really well of late, but you got to help your quarterback right there.
Yeah, that's a completed pass. He's got to bring that in, secure it, take the hit, and get to the ground. But that's going to lead to a punt. That was a conversion, even though they did bring the pressure that time. That's the first time Arch Manning's really been hit in this game. Longhorns have not trailed in this ball game. No, they did trail 3-0. I'm sorry, but then took the 7-3 lead and haven't trailed since that point. But that's tenuous at this point, with our Arkansas already having almost 250 total yards, 150 yards on the ground, guys. That's what everybody's rightfully frustrated about. To give up, I mean, they're on pace for 300 rushing yards right now, and they still have half a quarter before halftime.
It reminds me of one of those old Big 12 games, where just neither team is really playing defense, and a couple stops would be all you need.
Well, heck, that's the first. I mean, Texas forced a couple field goals, but that's the first stop either team has had. That's the first time we've seen a punter come on the field.
There's Washington back in the game with a reception for no gain.
Longhorns need to find some pride on defense here. That's to be in your house for the first time in a while to give up 150 yards rushing to this point. They've got to play with some passion right now, because now they've got to get the ball back. Big third down here coming, guys. If haven't given up a chunk play yet, I'll knock on wood here.
It's 2 third downs, one on defense where you let him off the hook with a hold, and then one on offense where Mosley's got his hands on it and can't finish pulling it.
Michael Tapp back finally with a nice tackle.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one guy I feel like he'll shake out of whatever was going on. He's just taking bad angles and missing tackles. And he usually can count on him. And the Longhorns might be able to get off the field here. It's big. They needed that for just a shot of confidence, and they still have a chance to control the end of half situation, as I talked about, with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go now.
Boy, that was a gift right there.
Yeah, you'll take the charity at this point.
Absolutely.
Get off the field.
It's a pretty good job by Justice Terry playing that action at the mesh point right there.
Yeah, it sure was.
Seeing more and more Justice Terry on the field these days, which is good. And the Longhorns are going to force a punt. This is Texas's defense is Dookie Water. Yeah, that's about right. Thank you for that super chat.
Look, my sense of humor hadn't changed much since I was about 13. You can't put the word Dookie on the screen and expect me not to laugh. So I appreciate
We're always 13, Jeff. We're always 13 at heart. But yeah, here comes the Arkansas punter for the first time today. We've seen their place kicker a couple of times.
Ooh. I'll replay it now.
Yeah, they're going to back that up a little bit. Illegal formation that time on Arkansas, but we'll see. That's going to be 5 more yards at the end of the punt, which will be at about the 15-yard line. Yeah, would you have him do it again, Coach, to see if Niblett can break something for you?
Yeah, apparently that's what he's going to do.
Well, Ryan Niblett's been one of your best players this year. When you need a big play, he's made them. And that's what they need right now. That was going to be inside the 15-yard line. They're going to make him do it again. All right, well, after neither defense could get a stop this whole game, they both went back-to-back. Texas went 3 and out offensively. Arkansas gets a first down, then goes tries to punt for the first time. So we'll see if the defenses are stiffening a little bit against these offenses that have come out red hot on a beautiful day in Austin, Texas today. I'm sitting here looking out at the golf course across the street there. Beautiful, beautiful day. Windows are open here, and that's what they're dealing with there. Longhorns almost got to the block punt that time, and great punt. DeAndre Moore back to field it, and not sure why he's bringing it out there. Any clue on to what that was, Coach?
I don't have any idea. I don't know why Moore is back there.
Yeah, why is DeAndre Moore back there, not Ryan Niblett? That makes no sense. And why did DeAndre Moore try to return that punt?
And that was an inexperienced punt returner. There must be something wrong with Ryan Niblett because that was just total inexperience.
Yeah, he still could have kneeled that ball down. Am I right? I mean, he caught it.
Absolutely.
I don't know what we're doing here, guys.
Well, no, that was Ty Anthony Smith. I thought Niblett might have been a guy they sent in on the block, but I wonder if Moore just thought the ball hit him in the foot. Maybe that's why he went ahead and picked it up.
He might have thought he caught it in the field of play and then went into the end zone. Either way, he could have kneeled that ball down and saved the Longhorns 20 yards of field position here. Now batted up in the air, and the Arch Manning's going to get crushed in the end zone. That is not ideal. Boy, oh boy, guys, this team. Ryan Niblett was out there returning the previous punt one play earlier. I can't imagine he got hurt on a fair catch. Easy penetration that time. Longhorns, after a red-hot offense, now starting to scuffle a little bit, and this is a huge situation because the field position is going to be Arkansas advantage big if they can't convert this.
Parker
and another drop.
Ball raked out.
Guys.
I thought that's a catch he should have made. Then I saw the rake.
You saw the what?
Big 3rd and 10.
Well, so that's back-to-back 3 and out. So it's feast or famine on offense right now, man.
Yeah, good defensive play, but you still like to see Parker secure that, get it to his body. But nice throw by Arch Manning. It's now gone the other way, and still scratching my head about the DeAndre Moore punt return and why DeAndre Moore was returning the punt. We just talked about give one of the best punt returners in the country another opportunity, and he wasn't on the field. I don't really understand that.
He's got to be hurt. There's no other reason you would put an inexperienced guy back there. Big break for Texas coming up.
Yeah, pass interference. That's huge.
Pass interference.
Yeah, but Coach, you're right. I mean, I guess he got hurt on that previous punt or something happened because he was out there. He was the one that fielded the punt that was going to be a fair catch. And they made him punt it again. I mean, you have to be right on that. I just saw him one play earlier. Petrino not happy, but that's a bailout play for Texas. They have an opportunity now with 4:42 to go to get, like I say, control this end of this second quarter with the ball coming out of half. I didn't see much there as far as pass interference, but Longhorns, well, maybe right there coming out of his break. Grab the shoulder pad.
Yeah, can't do that. Yep.
Yeah, we'll take that if you're Texas.
Still, Ryan Wingo's got to get better at selling that too.
Agreed. Just not a real polished receiver yet in a lot of phases. He's a very good athlete, big and fast, but he's got to get better at his all-round game. Maybe being around Emmett Mosley and a player like that can help him as he develops.
Well, Texas is going to be facing another big 3rd and 8. I mean, we can't be expecting penalties to bail us out every time.
No question. And Arkansas's defense playing a little more fire right now and flying to the football. They sense they have an opportunity. They've had won a conference game, but they've got Texas guessing a little bit right now. That's credit to Bobby Petrino, coach, that this team hasn't quit on them. They're still playing hard.
Yeah, they are. There's no doubt.
It's kind of, I mean, if the offense has an identity, it's, hey, let's just get in position to do something and hope 16 can go make a play. And right there he did.
Yeah, well, that was not the plan when the season began, but you become what you are. And right now, their best offenses, as you said, Arch Manning making throws like that, buying time. 11 of 16 now for 213 and 2 touchdowns. Big 3rd down conversion. And this game's going to be under 3 minutes, and the Longhorns have a chance to execute what I was talking about, do a 2-for-1 and get some points here before the half, and then come out with the ball. There could be a big swing in this game. Hopefully they can make some adjustments defensively at the halftime, but need this offense to control this ball all the way to the finish line here of this first half.
Boy, Petrino's really going to be hot now. They're going to throw another flag on Arkansas for defensive holding.
Now my heart just breaks for him, Coach.
Yeah. It couldn't happen to a better guy. You know what I'm saying? Holding, yep.
Yeah, it was an obvious hold.
Arkansas fans probably feeling like Texas fans did, but yeah, I mean, look, that was a hold on Ryan Wingo too, for sure. But I like this. Arch Manning's gotten better and better this year, guys, at finding that little dump down if the coverage is good. Just going to his outlet, letting Trey Wisner make a play up the right side. Across midfield now, thanks to the completion and the penalty.
Yeah, let the clock run down.
Yeah, you're in field goal range at this point. I mean, you want to manage this now. You do not want Arkansas to get the ball back in this half. You'd like to get 7 points, but you take 3. Because, again, the Longhorns did win the toss of this game, the coin toss. They did defer, so they do get the ball coming out of half. And this is the kind of game where you steal a possession like that, you can, change the equation a little bit, separate the game potentially.
Texas is going to be flagged on this play for holding as Arch runs out of bounds. Can't find anybody open.
Yeah, those are drive killers right there, fellas. This is going to take it to the 2-minute warning as well. And Longhorns haven't had a penalty up until that point. That is their first one. Oh, that's their second penalty for 17 yards.
Yeah, man, it's just it was that second reach by Baker where he grabbed him around the shoulder. So they got him for. Coach, I've noticed that at the high school level too on up, or Our O-line coaches just not coaching tackles to keep their hands inside anymore. I just see a lot of guys right off the snap just going to grab shoulders, which is the complete opposite of what I've always thought.
You can't do that in high school. They will call it every time.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for. If they see those hands outside and a jersey being pulled, they're gonna throw holding. And I think that's the way it should be called, you know.
Agreed. Well, and that one right there, I mean, he just reached out and grabbed him. No, they were almost like that was not. There's no way that's not going to get seen.
Yeah.
Just get your head in the game here. But the Longhorns have not been penalized much. But I'll give Texas credit. That DeAndre Moore punt return, bad decision. Thanks to a penalty call, they've gotten themselves out of that, and now they have a chance to control the final 2 minutes. 2-minute warning time. Let me tell you one more time about my good buddy Jeremy Jones and his team at Driven Auto Sales. As we've said, they've sold great vehicles and an outstanding value to buyers across Texas and across the country. And it's just a click away, drivenoutosales.net, whether it's a dream vehicle you've been hunting for or just need a vehicle, need a car or truck. We're about to need a car at our house. So we've already talked to Jeremy and his team. Looking for a great deal at Driven. They carry everything from fuel-efficient compact cars online to full-size options, each one meticulously inspected for quality and performance, and they come with a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty. Again, y'all, Driven Auto Sales, more than fair, more than friendly. drivenoutosales.net. Find them right there. Check out your car, and if there's a car you're looking for, you can let them know. They'll try to find it for you and get that in and get it to you. Jeremy's a great dude, great guy, lifelong Central Texan. Make that used car buying experience more than fair and more than friendly. Sample it. Just check out the website, drivenoutosales.net. You'll see those quality, variety, and customer satisfaction drive everything that they do. See all those great vehicles based right here in Central Texas, but delivering cars all over Central Texas and the country. That's drivenoutosales.net. All right, to Coach, how are we handling this final? They're coming out 2nd and 16 after the holding call. If you're Arch, you might be able to get it all back the way the secondary has performed for Arkansas, but man, don't force anything. You want to control this ball and maybe get half of that yardage back and give yourself a chance on 3rd down, maybe even get it to where you go for it on 4th down. But you certainly need to get back into field goal range here.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I'm not sure, how they're going to do it, but hopefully it's through the air. And really, Arkansas is going to be playing somewhat back, trying to keep everything in front of them. A screen might not be a bad play right here, to get part of this yardage back. I'm talking about a receiver screen.
Yeah, Ryan Wingo type play. That's been an effective extension of the run game. Safe, gets a good one of your best athletes, the ball out there. Maybe just can't get another holding call because right now you're backed up to the 49. So you were into field goal range and now backed out of it. You need to get that yardage back. And with 2 minutes and the timeouts available, Longhorns can control this clock all the way to the halftime, which has been the goal coming off the goal line. So Longhorns up to 258 total yards. Arkansas is at 250. The Longhorns majority through the air at 217, and majority of Arkansas's yards on the ground at 154 yards, led by Washington. Their running backs got 100 yards already, 98 yards on 10 carries. Talon Green has 56 and a touchdown. But again, Coach, this is an opportunity to get this thing points before the half, hopefully make some adjustments defensively in the half, and then come out with the ball. Like I said, you can, a 1-point game could become a 2-score game if you handle this and then come out strong in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, this is incredibly critical to get some points on this drive.
Arch Manning's having a heck of a half here. After the DeAndre Moore touchdown to start the ball game, Jeff Howe said maybe a 400-yard game. Well, he's at 213 now, halfway through, or not even to the half point. Big play here to get some of that penalty yardage back. Arch has all day. And incomplete. Had Emmett Mosley a little out in front of him. He dove for it, but incomplete. And now 3rd and 16. What you don't want to have to do is have to punt back to Arkansas with them having timeouts and time the way that their offense has performed so far. That was a big miss. Didn't get any of those yardage back. That's why I liked your idea of a screen pass there, Coach. Bunch formation. Rod Babers, I'm sure, is jotting that down. But pressure into the face, and the Longhorns go 0 for 2, and they're going to punt the ball after that holding call. 2 incompletions and good coverage by Arkansas. Now the Longhorns are going to not control the end of the half. That's not ideal. That holding call on Brandon Baker looming. It's only the 2nd penalty, but it came at a critical time.
I mean, that's what this team has been all year, though. Like, it's terrible to watch, but I'm not surprised because this first half is kind of Texas in a nutshell. Like, one side of the ball is great, the other one's not. Then, defense steps up a little bit. The offense can't move it now except for some penalties. Like, you're so erratic, you're so up and down, you're so inconsistent. That's just been the product this year.
It is. At least that's been consistently inconsistent, and rally killers, like they call them, because they had that exact game plan I was talking about in hand, and then the penalty set them back. And I really didn't like the 2 play calls, trying to push it down the field instead of trying to get shorter passes, safer intermediate passes to get those yards back and at least get back into field goal range. Now it's Arkansas that has a chance to score before the half and minimize that 2-for-1 opportunity. At least, Coach, here with 1:36 to go, you shouldn't have to worry about the run game a little bit, which has gouged Texas so badly.
Yeah, they have. And the first play, they tried to get a quick out there, and afraid they may throw a flag on that.
Yeah, that's well, there's a little jawing going on. That's the freshman. Cade Phillips out there. All right, 2nd and 10. You should be able to get your pass rush home here, guys. See if you can affect something, force one of those end of half turnovers that can flip games potentially, because you do have an opportunity to win. As Jerry was talking about, you have an advantage, your pass rushers versus their tackles. Colin Simmons, Landon Jackson are in there right now.
With third and 7 and 2 timeouts, I'm really surprised that we're not using timeouts here, because they're going to let all the clock run off.
All right.
I agree with that.
So you're going to have a little under a minute, Coach, with all of your two timeouts, and depending on his punt, you should get it back with decent field position.
Yeah, and is Ryan Niblett going to be back there to return the punt? To be the question.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. Well, it may turn out okay for us. Let us run the ball a couple times if we need to with 2 timeouts left, but we will have the ball back with hopefully right around 50 seconds. Unless we break it.
Good play by Jelani McDonald to force that 4th down and 57 seconds to go. And that defense, Coach, that shows you when they don't have to worry about the run, which has killed them, they can still cover. The problem is when it's dual threat and they're letting them do both, they've looked beyond confused in this first half, allowing the 20 points and over 250 yards of offense. But did their job the last couple times, give them a chance to be the final team to score in the half, which, as we've said, is pretty critical.
Wow. I don't know where y'all are, but looked like roughing the punter to me. Did it to you, Jeff? Are you there?
I'm still behind.
Did they not call it?
Yeah, horrible punt. Texas is going to have great field position, but
I wonder why the flag didn't come. I wonder if they got a hand on the ball, Coach.
Oh, they got a hand on the ball?
Well, yeah, because it looked like roughing, but that would negate it from being roughing if you got a finger on it.
That probably makes sense because the ball flailed out of bounds, and Texas is going to have the ball on their 35
yard line,
35 or 6 yard line.
Yeah, and you can run the ball here too. That was huge. I do think that has to be why there was no flag, that they touched it.
Man. Oof.
They almost got it last time with DeAndre Moore back there, but not. Ryan Niblett was back. And that I don't know. I'm not listening to the broadcast, but I think the Longhorns will get credit for a blocked punt there, or at least a deflected punt, which forced it to be erratic and out of bounds. But yeah, plenty of time here. 50 seconds, 2 timeouts, short field. Longhorns again, 3rd opportunity to control the end of the half.
And you don't have to get it all here in one play.
No, you don't. You got plenty of time. You can run.
Yep.
The whole playbook is open to you.
But we try to get it all in one play.
Arch is now 3 for his last 14 after starting 7 for 7.
Well, you wonder, it's like that 3-point shooter that hits all those threes early and then keeps shooting them. I mean, the deep shots were there early, but now you got to take some underneath. I mean, Arkansas has adjusted to that. They've been burned over the top by Parker Livingston and DeAndre Moore. Arch is still trying to get the home runs, even though that was into double coverage. You got plenty of time here to run some crosser routes, anything you want in your playbook. Get some to the tight end or run the football. And obviously the clock will stop on first downs to reset. Yeah, there's a running play. Good. And I'm a play behind you guys, so I'm sure you've already seen Trey Wisner for 7 yards.
It was really good coverage on that slot fade, by the way.
Yes, it was. And look, ball was slightly underthrown. Boy, this is just it almost doesn't seem like we deserve this, but if we can get a touchdown here and then get the ball back to start the third quarter, I just don't feel I just don't feel like we're in sync yet, you know.
Well, the positive would be if you could get a lead. You do have a lead. If you could extend the lead and make some adjustments, I think this defense has played a little bit better here. Those last couple of drives, but some adjustments. And you know what, Bobby Petrino will be planning for your adjustments, and he's the best at that. First game and then making another change, anticipating what you're planning to do, and come with something counter to that. So we'll see. Arch Manning looking straight into that sun here.
Yeah, I don't understand this. I do not understand clock management. It's unbelievable. You just give me a gun. Let me shoot up the air. Frustration.
Yeah, Longhorns are. I guess they're going to settle for the field goal, Coach.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or maybe not. 4th down, going for it. Good night.
Well, what are you? What? Gosh.
Yeah, you guys thought that was going to be like Oklahoma at the end of the half in the Cotton Bowl, right? Nope. They get it all the way down there and try to kick a field goal on the last play of the half with Mason Shipley and take a 24-20 lead. Kind of feels like Sark feeling like you a little bit, Coach. He wants to get to halftime and see if they can figure something out with his defense, get this thing adjusted, not make a mistake here, take a sack, have a penalty that takes them out of field goal range. Just try to get your 3 with your reliable field goal kicker, get it to 24-20 and live to play the second half. And that speaks to what Jeff just said. If you're a coach and you're worried about a penalty that's going to back you up or a mistake or a sack, that's not optimistic, but at the same time might be the smart thing to do right now.
You're off. You started out great, and thankfully Mason Shipley comes through here. But
yeah, well, you did get to score at the end of the half. You do get the ball coming out, and I think Sark just wants to get to the halftime, whether he should or not. And this second quarter has been brought to you by Driven Auto Sales. But yes, that's where Texas is right now. And are you with me on that, Jeff or Coach, that Arch is still trying to hit the deep balls when he's got them backed up, and there should be stuff underneath, some crossers or something to take advantage of the safeties playing so deep?
Well, I'm sure it's a read. I'm sure that depending on how the defense is playing, a guy will break off the route, or if he hasn't beat, he'll go deep. I'm sure that's what it has to be, because I just don't understand why you don't just. I mean, I guess that is taking it if they're going to give it to you, but it's a lower percentage pass, and we just keep trying to throw it. We just keep trying to throw it, and we just have a hard time connecting, especially if we're covered. Now we're really good when nobody's really covering us, and we hit them over the middle and let our athletes be athletes. That's what I want to see us do more on offense. Besides run the ball. I mean, we've got 50 yards
not run the football.
50-yard rushing. Our backs have carried the ball 13 times, which is better than last week, but that's not anything to brag about.
No, your longest run for scrimmage right now is 7 yards. So I mean, it's but that's one of those things we talked about, Coach. That for Sark, that's kind of a philosophical decision. I mean, are you going to run the ball knowing you're probably not going to hit the big play with the run game? Just hadn't been there all year. Are you going to be content to say, hey, a 3-yard run is a good play?
I would be. I would 3 to 4 yards, and then you'll pop a 7 or 8, and you can't do that to your defense. You can't leave your defense out there hanging like that for that long and just get gashed. And so you've got to take some time off the clock. You've got to wear down that defense, and especially the defensive line, so that when you do have to have a pass, you'll have time to throw it, because they will be worn down, because I don't think they have the depth on the defensive line to continue to play Texas if we're able to run the ball.
Correct. All right, halftime is here. Longhorns up 24-20. Arch Manning with a big first half. He was 9 of 10 at one point, but as you said, Jeff, those deep shots that were incomplete, the drop by Emmett Mosley, some of those passes is now 10 of 18 as the half expires. 213 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also caught the touchdown pass. Longhorns 267 total yards as expected. Defense, though, did not play great. They gave up over 150 rushing yards and 20 points themselves. Did force a couple of field goals. Also forced a couple of stops there at the end of the half to allow the field goal. That all-important coming out of half third quarter drive becomes big because the Longhorns could really extend this lead and make it tough on Arkansas if they come out crisp and clean in the second half. Our halftime is going to be brought to you by Progress Coffee and Beer Bar. They're in Buda, Texas. Great folks, normally doing the show there, but they had a private event today, so I'm at my home studio, which is great, but Progress is right there in Buda, Texas, right across from Cabela's on the other side of 35 East, right off the feeder road. Back in there a little bit on 2001 FM 2001 Progress Coffee and Beer Bar, full service coffee bar and great coffee in the mornings, great patio on these beautiful days to sit out with televisions everywhere. Then it turns into a full bar with a beer garden and that patio in the afternoons and evenings. Great game watching, NFL Sunday ticket to watch all the football games. Just a great spot there if you live in Buda and Kyle and South Austin. Great people. Plus Backer brand, that officially licensed Texas gear. They've got that, click through right there in the chat. You can click to, giving away a free hat with every purchase today during our broadcast. That's Backer brand. Great stuff for the holiday season. bckr.com. They are college football fans who wanted to make great gear because you deserve great gear that you can support your team in. Plus 10% of all sales with Backer goes to the NIL program at Texas and Texas student athletes. It's backer.com. All right, assessments, guys. I mean, defense needs work, obviously. Offense, as advertised. What's good, bad, and ugly for me at the first 30 minutes?
Yeah, defense is obviously critical. And against a running team, you don't really want to be running man coverage anyway because you're just running potential tacklers off. But Texas has to shore up the running game from the second level, not be too aggressive with our edge rushers like we've been. It's cost us twice, once being too aggressive inside and then once just being indecisive. But stopping the run with our front obviously is going to be critical, but that soft middle of the field is what worries me because they seem to have that anytime they want it with crossing routes or with delay routes, things like that. Petrino, we appreciate the super chat. I don't remember the name, but said we're getting he's getting out coached by Bobby Petrino. Well, that seems to be a reoccurring theme. I don't understand. Petrino is dialed up. That delay tight end is that's why it's been so good to us. And I wish we would run it more. It's hard to cover. That guy's not counted for. You watch him, he's blocking. We used to teach the safeties, look at the tight end. If he's blocking, then he's not going to be a threat. It's probably going to be a run actually. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm just curious to see how our defense is going to adjust and close those gaps down in the second half. Because if we don't, and we stumbled on offense like we've been stumbling the last two of the last three drives at least, then it's going to come right down to the end.
Yeah. And look, getting out coached by Bobby Petrino, he's a really, really good football coach. His problems were off field and his own decision-making and those type of things. I mean, that guy, Jeff Howe, for a long time, there's a reason he was in such demand. He's one of the best play callers in the game, play designers in the game, great feel. Because not only is Bobby Petrino a great play designer like Sark, but in game, he's got some of the best, instincts for play calling and what's working and how to, keep a team off balance. That's why he, again, whether he's at Louisville with Lamar Jackson or, in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons, Arkansas, the first time, this guy can coach football. So, and his defense is a problem, but he's trying to use his offense to coach around that. So, Longhorns have to react. What were your thoughts on the first half, Jeff?
One thing that's standing out to me right now is there was a little bit of hope for me. Maybe it was more wishful thinking that we'd see Texas put together kind of at least a complete half. Barring, just a shutdown effort on defense and the offense kicking in the gear in the second half. The first three quarters of the Vanderbilt game is as good as it's going to get this year in terms of seeing what this team looks like at its best. We're just not going to see that. And the concerning thing for me is I see a defense right now that just has no confidence, just no juice, just that you're void of I don't know, man, just void of a football spirit, I guess, for lack of a better term, man. Just nothing there. And I don't know what's going to get it switched for that unit. They did end the half much better than they started it. But, it seems like with the exception of Vanderbilt, anytime you played an offense with a pulse, you've had really rough starts to games. Even Oklahoma, early on was kind of going up and down the field, and then you adjusted. So, I don't know what needs to change there. Offensively, again, it's got to be a combination of Sark's got to continue to help the offense by adjusting his play calls and making sure you've got things in place to help your quarterback. And, man, receivers just got to catch. You just got to make plays. Man, receivers just got to catch the football. And just way too many either drops or just contested catches that weren't made. So it's just the plays that can be made aren't being made on offense right now.
Yep, all of them. Coach, what's your thought for that first drive of the quarter coming out? I know you want to establish some run, but get Arch back into a rhythm as he kind of fell out of that. And that's pretty critical to try to go down and extend this lead and get it to 2 scores, because then if it is going to be a shootout, you've got a little cushion there.
Yeah, I would like some high percentage passes. I don't want to see us throw the ball down the field like that. We don't need to. And, that's just going to, like I said, I think we need to start tiring out that defense. Now, I don't know that we need to go fast paced, because we don't want our defense to be on the field. But at the same time, it's going to be critical for us to come out with a balanced offense and try to get control of this game, because so far it's just been a roller coaster.
Yeah. And it settled in late in the half. Both defenses got some stops, and the Longhorns settled for a field goal there. Felt like they could have been more aggressive, but like I said, I think Sark just wanted to get himself to halftime and not make a mistake that cost them points that they had done on the previous drive with the holding call. But defense, not great, but did get off the field a couple times late to force it. This is we struggle this game and lose Friday. What should happen? A&M looks tremendous, by the way. Yeah, they're playing Sanford, but great question. What's going to happen? I mean, I think we can have those conversations. We get through this game and into Friday. If you win and go 9-3 and you can beat another top 10 team, Jeff, that's a long shot at this point, the way they're playing. You start talking about what kind of season that was. You win this game and lose that game and go 8-4. I was talking to my buddy Nick Shuley over there with the Third and Longhorn podcast, and he works for Gary Keller, who's Keller Williams Realty, the largest realtor in the nation, realtor in the world, actually, largest real estate group in the nation, in the world. And Gary has a book. He's writes these business books and leadership books, and one of the best. And he says in a business that's kind of reached an apex and is kind of scuffling, he says usually you're one hire away from fixing the problem instead of start firing people. If you're doing really well in a lot of phases, but it's just not reaching its ceiling, Gary Keller says you're one hire away. Is that maybe another set of eyes in the general manager side of things, Jeff, or is that a new offensive coordinator, which a lot of fans have called for? Is there a hire that Sark could make that could bring in another elite person into this group to help them get over the hump? What would be your assessment of that, depending on however this thing plays out from here?
I caught, the offensive coordinator thing to me, I don't even know. To me, it's a pointless discussion, because I don't think even if he did hire somebody to take over play calling, I just think Sark is so attached to it, man. I would rather him just keep play calling than hire somebody where he's constantly looking over the guy's shoulder or meddling or whatever, and then it just gets discombobulated from there. So I don't think that's not the cure-all. I think some people think it would be. At least that's how I see it. Because I just don't think Sark is at a point in his career where he wants to hand that over, and I don't believe that decision is going to be made for him. The second thing is, regardless of how this game ended, and no matter how the A&M game goes, there were some tough conversations that were going to need to be had anyway. Like this team right now, this team does not. I don't even want to hear about the playoff. This team does this look like a college football playoff team to anybody right now? No, it doesn't. So that's what you're striving for. So you have to have some, and I think it's one of two things, Jerry. Either you're going to have to move on from some guys and bring in some new ideas, or the guys that you have in certain spots are going to need to evolve and tweak things. And we talk about Sark being at that point. I think PK may be at that point too, where you've got to look at what you've done. It's gotten you to this point But to get you to another level, you probably got to tweak some things. So there was going to need to be those type of conversations were going to need to be had anyway, regardless of how this thing ended. But as of right now, again, Jerry, I don't know if you were listening or watching the game, but I said it before, like, I don't know. You can be disappointed in what's going on, but I don't know how anybody's surprised because this is exactly what this team has been all year.
Yeah, no, this is especially defensively in SEC play, right? I mean, that's the key for me is what does this team look like as SEC play has moved along defensively? And sorry, my allergies are killing me. But it's more of the same. It's more of the same. Bad linebacker fits. Defensive ends have got caught crashing down. The one on the goal line, that was a freshman, Lance Jackson. I think if Ethan Burke's in the game right there, I'm not sure that he crashes down like that on that QB run. So it's just been – look, I said this in the first half. I said, this is the first game I can recall that I'm going to say which secondary plays worse, loses the game. And right now, luckily, that's Arkansas because they're absolutely awful. Parker Livingston, I mean, that guy made a pretty good play on the Parker Livingston drop, but their safeties are really, really rough in pass coverage. And that's why Texas is really trying – and I'm allergic to this defense too, but that's why Sark and Arch are really trying to attack down the field in this game. I think it's because the Arkansas safeties are on a real struggle bus. And if you can put them in conflict at all, it's explosive plays.
Yeah, and when you're this bad on defense, man, I've said this. I said this during the second quarter, Jerry. When it's that bad, that's just a systemic failure on everybody.
Yeah,
and I just see a defense again, just no confidence. They're guessing or reacting. They're half step slow. There's just no juice, no sense of urgency outside of one or two plays here or there. And again, offensively, you slowed down, but man, just the drop balls and not finishing plays. And then, you've got that driver, you get aided by a couple penalties, and you get a hold. So it's kind of the first half of this game is kind of what this team has been all year.
By the way, I'll say this. Bobby Petrino is so much fun to watch him call a game. He keeps defenses off balance. So, I mean, think about everything he's done in this game offensively to get to 253 yards. He has run read with the quarterback multiple times. He has ran a draw, by the way, which it's almost a lost art and a lost play call nowadays. The delay with the tight ends, as Coach Shipley has said, he is putting all of his players in a position to succeed. And when you do that over 34 snaps, and you could look at dang near maybe one play call you could look at, but he does as good a job as there is, and he's so much fun to watch call offense and plays in game. That guy is really, really gifted at it. I think on a Lane Kiffin level, those two guys are gifted just on another level as in-game play callers. It's fun to watch as a football fan. But I'll say this, Jeff and Aaron, coming out of the second half, I can't tell you how important it is to score a touchdown.
Agreed.
If you can get up 2 scores in this game, and it doesn't necessarily force Petrino's hand early in the third quarter unless it's a elongated drive, which I'm not sure Texas has the capability at this point in the season of an elongated 13-play, 65, 75-yard drive. But if you can get 2 scores in this game, it does start to force Petrino's hand a little bit. If you go down and get a field goal and it's 27-20, that doesn't do much for what Petrino may be thinking on the other side. I think you have to get Bobby Petrino in a little conflict if you can get up 2 scores in this game. Put those off.
If you can get up 2 scores, guys, and Jeff, I mean, that I don't want to say it takes away their run game, but that's what's killing Texas right now, the two-dimensional side of it and the play calling. If you can get up 2 scores, get to 31-20, maybe even get a field goal on top of that, now all of a sudden they have to abandon that run game a little bit, and that pass rush can get after, which is where Texas can win once they become predictable.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff in the chat. Where's the pass rush? Where's the pass rush? Man, you can't pin your ears back and get after the quarterback when you've given up 157 yards rushing in a half. You're giving up 9.2 yards a carry. You can't rush the passer when that's happening.
Well, and you're not in pass rush situations either. You're on your heels the whole time. And, yeah, the safeties have to play better. But really, I mean, usually a PK defense can make a team one-dimensional. This game, it's both. They're running it, they're throwing it. Quarterback is all over the place. It's hard to rush a Hello, Rod Babers. Give us your thoughts here. But it's hard to rush a quarterback like Taylor Green when you're not sure where he's going to be. They're moving the pocket really well. He's running the ball well. When they have had to go straight drop back on passing situations, Texas has been effective, and Colin Simmons has been effective. But those have been few and far between in the first half. Hello, Rod.
What's up, Rod, can I lead you into a question? When's the last time you've seen safety play as impressive as Arkansas in a game?
I told you explosive plays, man. I told you can get them on Arkansas. Like, you should always be able to get yourself out of harm's way against this Arkansas defense. All it takes is a little bit of scheming, but your guys should be able to win constantly against Arkansas, which they are. Honestly, I didn't like the way they ended the half, but I thought that was kind of bad game management, clock management by Sark there. I thought you could have been a little bit more aggressive, try to get a touchdown, but got no problem. I think the offense is going to be able to score points in the second half too. I think they'll make some adjustments and be able to score even more points. The issue, of course, is defense. We talked about it, guys, and we told you. I was saying it's going to be a fourth quarter kind of shootout, and I think everybody else felt the same way. It is trending that way. Honestly, it's not the wide receivers for Arkansas aren't the ones that are killing you right now, really, in the pass game. It's been the tight ends making some big plays, and it's just been the running game for Arkansas. I mean, Taylor Green, what is this dude averaging right now? Is but 8-9 yards a carry? What is he?
9.2 as a team. 9.2 as a team.
So it's the running game, man, that right now is killing, which makes sense, right? Because Anthony Hill is out, so it's a second level that's challenging. I've been telling you for the last couple of weeks that they've had issues with tight ends. So Bobby Petrino was like, all right, you know what? Let's play tight. Let's try to get our tight ends involved early on, especially since you got RPOs and play action to kind of occupy the eyes of those second level linebackers and defenders. But I don't know if anybody's noticed, but they're playing a little bit of tighter coverage on the outside. It's a little bit more man coverage being played as well. Not a ton more man coverage, but a little bit more man coverage that I've noticed. So I think that's probably one of the adjustments they've made to just simplify things on the back end. I hadn't obviously went back and tracked it really, but just off the eye test, I think they're playing a little bit more man coverage and they're playing a little bit of tighter coverage, especially on critical downs. So that's, I think, good to kind of help you with the receivers on the outside. But now you got to figure out a way to deal with the running game and the tight end. So I think that'll mean just kind of stacking the box, which means you're talking about putting guys on islands on the outside and isolating them. And that's when Bobby Petrino's adjustment is probably going to be, all right, let's take our shots downfield and one-on-one. You got freshmen in there starting the secondary, Cade Phillips, who's done a good job so far. Of course, you got a young buck, Grayson Littleton, who's not a young buck anymore because he's played really well. So I think that'll be the adjustment for Texas. Like, you can't let them keep gashing you in the run game like this. They're running that option kind of to over there to Trey Moore. So I think they're kind of trying to attack him in the option game a little bit from what I can see early on. So, this is not a surprise. Like, I hope Longhorn fans aren't upset and surprised by this. We kept telling you guys, they're going to move the ball and they're going to score some points. They've done it against everybody. Like, Notre Dame's the only team that's blown this team out. Yeah. Everybody else, they've kind of found a way to lose it late by turning over the football, making bad decisions in critical moments. But, guys, they score. And the way this Texas defense was trending without Anthony Hill, we kind of knew this was going to be happening. Texas, by the way, I know Arkansas safety play is bad. Texas safety play ain't been much better.
No,
I haven't seen Michael Taft have a game like that, half like that in a long time, if ever. 16 did not have a good half. Did we ever learn, guys, who's wearing the green dot with Anthony Hill not playing, and who's the communicator out there?
It appears nobody. It appears nobody.
We have the update, Ian. It's nobody.
Yeah, let's go down to the field with Rod. Yeah, it's nobody. Nobody's got the green dot. So there are chickens with their head cut off out there.
Hey, Rod, before I get out of here, I'll leave you with this on explosive plays, on explosive run plays. Texas on the year through 10 games had allowed 5 running plays from scrimmage of 20 yards or more. They gave up 3 in the first half.
Damn.
Yeah, and his coach
you missed Anthony Hill yet?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. We'll see you in the fourth quarter.
Hey, Rod, before you popped on here, it would be so big for Texas to score a touchdown and get up 2 scores in this game, because I do think it starts to force Bobby Petrino's hand a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Something has to happen to force Bobby Petrino's hand and get him in a little play calling conflict. To this point, it hasn't been done. Got to get up.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. You want to get him to the point he's feeling desperate now. He's not feeling desperate at all.
Yeah, and you want to abandon the run a little bit if you can, and have to throw it more and let your pass rush win. So here we go. Texas starting the third quarter, brought to you by Callahan's General Store here. And there's a good explosive to start the half across midfield. Emmett Mosley sitting quiet right in that middle of that pocket of the zone defense. Arch Manning had plenty of time, and much like the start of the game, a chunk play to begin it. Cedric Baxter is your starting running back, and play action, the RPO game, wide open. Linebackers got sucked up, and there was no one near Emmett Mosley. That is a big gain on first down, and then a 6-yard gain on second down with Cedric Baxter falling forward. So Longhorns are off to a good start so far. 2 plays already to the 40 inside the 45-yard line.
Yeah,
you know what's sad to watch, guys? Every time Baxter plants his left leg to cut, it gives out a little bit. I mean, he just can't plant off his left and have anything moving forward.
They're getting gas for the explosive plays are there against Arkansas. Like you should be playing Canadian football unless this happens and you screw up with it. But
Jack Hendry is going to get it down to the 3-yard line, which sometimes can be not great for the Longhorns. He didn't get to the end zone, so they've got to score on a short yardage. But 3 plays, and the Longhorns are already at first and goal, and a flag on the play. Well, no, it's going to be the dreaded red zone flag, I think.
Oh, it's on Arkansas, illegal sub. The good thing about the Arkansas defense is you can get a hold in the false start and still score in the red zone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you should be able to get yourself you can dig yourself out of a hole versus Arkansas. I've seen it too many times.
Ooh.
You can dig yourself out of a hole versus Arkansas, man.
Yeah.
They don't take advantage of those types of situations as a defense.
Well, this is what we talked about, guys. The Longhorns taking advantage of this opening drive to get up, try to get up 11 points. The 2-for-1 that we talked about, scoring at the end of the half on the Mason Shipley field goal, and then 7 more potentially, and they're about to finish that off with a penalty.
Oh no!
What happened? You're ahead of me.
Yeah, exchange issue.
Yeah, boy. Execution have been pretty flawless so far in this.
Direct snap.
A little too cute right there. Cedric Baxter fumbles on the direct snap as Arch was headed to the pylon. So now it's going to be red zone issues. And gosh, you don't want to settle for 3 here after getting down there in 3 plays.
Didn't it feel like they were trying to run like the option, except with Baxter as? Okay, I'll take that then.
Yeah. All right. Arch Manning's having a huge game. He's thrown 2 touchdowns, caught a touchdown, and now he scores a touchdown, dials his own number. We thought he might be more impactful in the red zone this year in these scoring opportunities, and Arch Manning going a little Josh Allen this time into the end zone. So pretty multifaceted performance for Arch Manning, guys. 2 touchdown passes, a touchdown run, and a touchdown catch. And the Longhorns are going to be up 31-20.
Yeah, dude, I felt like, honestly, I'm not going to go back and look at it. That direct step, I felt like they were trying to have, like, Arch as a pitch man. Anybody feel like they were kind of going
maybe a little forward pitch from Cedric Baxter?
No, he was going to basically kind of run the option, and he was a pitch man. I could be wrong about that. I go back and look at it, but that's kind of that's why I like Cedric Baxter might have fumbled it a little bit.
I like the play call, though. Quarterback keeper, quarterback power. Arch Manning doing his Josh Allen impression, fully back from that concussion. And the Longhorns are going to take an 11-point lead. That's good execution, Jerry. I'm always big, and I know your dad was a high school coach. Getting that winning that final opportunity at the end of the half and coming out and scoring to start the second half. That's a 10-point swing in a game where you stole a possession and now have an 11-point lead. Yeah,
absolutely. This is a huge touchdown in this game. And now we scored pretty quick, right? 2 minutes and 28 seconds. That's the only thing. And Rod, I said this before you got on here. The problem with I wanted to come out and get the touchdown and get up 2 scores, but Texas isn't capable of a 13-play, 75-yard drive. And the Arkansas defense isn't going to be able to stay on the field for 13 plays. They're going to give up a touchdown before that.
Exactly.
So you do get up 2 scores, but maybe you haven't forced Petrino's hand yet. But if they don't come back and get a touchdown themselves and keep it at 4, and Texas was able to score right back, then you're going to be sitting there at about 5 minutes to go in the third, and you start to force his hand a little bit. Texas needs to get Bobby Petrino out of his comfort zone. That's the biggest thing for me in this game. By the way, Texas up to 340 yards offense in the game.
Yeah, you can
Arch is approaching the 300-yard plateau through the air. He's got 278 on 12 of 20. It says Arch is proving the misguided early season hype. Happy for him. Yeah, he's proving it. He's a good player. He's getting better in front of our eyes. And certainly last week against Georgia in the loss, he wasn't the problem. He played well in that game. How about that, Rod? Did you ever see a defense? Were you ever part of a defense that started a game with 10 men on the field and gave up a gash play? Like didn't have enough guys to start the game?
No. Not even on the worst defenses I played on. That was not the case.
Not even in high school do you start with 10 men on the field. Everybody knows that they're a starter, that they need to be on the field, right?
I don't know how you missed that. I mean, that means it almost says you're disorganized on the sideline. I don't know how that happened. I really don't.
Good job getting off the block there, Jelani McDonald.
Yeah, nice. Negative play, one of the few so far. Jelani McDonald coming. Because, again, to your point, Jerry, if you can get them off the field here, score again, not only do you kind of make them abandon that run game, you also – that's a losing team, right? They're 2-8. They've lost 6 straight or 8 straight. Then they'll pack this thing in. As long as they feel like they're in it, they'll play. But, man, this is the kind of team you can kill shot because they're used to losing.
Oh, they go ahead. Ooh, I saw that. Tight ends.
Boy, that's you got 2nd and 13 and then give that up. That's unfortunate. But Bobby Petrino really dialing it up as usual.
Yeah, he knows what he can attack. He's attacking the second level and he's attacking linebackers in coverage, which has been the case the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Trey Moore doesn't do a lot of covering of tight ends, and he's back there because Anthony Hill is out of this game.
Yeah, I mean, look, that Trey Moore is a play forward edge player. He's not a linebacker. And if you're asking him to cover a tight end in a one-on-one situation, that you're not putting him in a position to succeed. Bottom line.
Agreed. Yeah, I know he wants to develop that way. That's probably going to be asked of him at the next level when he gets there. But at the same time, that's they're going to attack that every time 8 is in coverage.
The rollouts too, guys. Teams have started ever since. I would say give Vanderbilt a lot of credit. They probably did the best. But that's it. Vandy, Georgia, Arkansas, big plays on rollouts.
Getting the ball because his pass rush is so good, and the tackles can struggle at Arkansas. You got to get your quarterback on the move and out of the pocket.
One thing, I'm wrong on this game, and one prediction so far is that I thought Texas pass rush would have a really good game, but they haven't won enough on first down defensively for their pass rush to be a factor. They have not got Arkansas in enough 3rd and longs.
Yeah, that's what they're able to do to Vanderbilt. They have not gotten this team to passing situations, and now they're going to get a 3rd down opportunity, 3rd and 3, long 3, almost 4.
The 3rd and 4 could be a draw play with Bobby Petrino. Quarterback draw. He could run a draw, run a delay. It's not necessarily a passing down for Bobby Petrino.
Yeah, wide open. Oh, okay. Oh,
what do you got, Roger? Ahead of me?
Wow! That was just he's good for it. That's what he does. He throws picks. He's thrown 10 interceptions. That makes 11.
Yeah.
It was just a bad decision.
Oh my gosh, that was a Carson Beck maneuver.
Yeah, it was a terrible decision. He just had a meltdown.
That was Josh Allen did that a couple weeks ago against Tampa Bay, and he recovered from it. That's a play you can't make, and that could be the swing play of the game right there. Longhorns attack that quarterback draw. He does the chest pass to nobody, but Jelani McDonald and the Longhorns force a turnover again at home. That streak is still alive. And now they can, I don't say kill shot, but they can really separate this game.
Now you put Bobby Petrino in desperation mode to score a touchdown. Then he will abandon the run. He's like, I can't run because my defense ain't good enough to keep us in the game. I got to throw it on every down. Then you put the NASCAR, the F1 package out there, your quarter package out there, and you eat them alive. Like, that's what you need to do. That's complimentary.
Who was he trying to throw the ball to? And was he trying to do a no-look pass to the tight end?
I know that was such a bad decision. Reggie Bush is shaking his head.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was
Wow.
a terrible decision. But honestly, guys, if you watch Arkansas, which none of y'all have, which I don't agree, you don't waste your life like that. But they've done that all season long.
Yeah. Well, you just saw their 129th in turnover margin in the country. I mean, they turn it over quite a bit.
They turn it over, guys. Yeah. In their 7 losses by 9 points or more, 9 points or less, they lose the turnover margin 14-4 combined. Like they are terrible. That's really how they've been losing these games, these close games. They lose the turnover margin.
Our Longhorns are going to go 2nd and 10. They tried to sneak Jack Endries out the back, and he was covered by 2 people. They had that play pegged. Their defense needs to help themselves. That boy, if the Longhorns can capitalize on that, that is a boneheaded a play. But you're right, Rod. I mean, this is why they've lost 8 straight games, and that's just a careless play by your quarterback who just needs to tuck that and punt. Lucky Jelani McDonald didn't get more out of that return. But either way, now big 3rd down.
Yeah.
3rd and 2.
Trey Wisner back in the game. Longhorns up approaching 350 total yards now. You'd like to see them mount some running game here because a touchdown drive here would be big. All right, Trey Wisner for 4. That's what you need.
That's an all Trey. That's Trey all day. That was a Trey Wisner. All him. That was all Trey Wisner, honestly.
Yeah,
by the way, somebody in the chat saying Arkansas 2nd string quarterback warming up. Petrino, I bet he absolutely hated that decision.
Oh man, I mean he's all over him on the sidelines. I mean, you can't. That's just such losing football. You cannot be that careless with the ball. No. I mean, this isn't the playground.
No,
come on, man.
He's a 5th-year senior.
And you're this is the 11th game of the season, bro. Come on, you still keep making those bad decisions like that.
Yeah, that's just
got him. Nice play.
Yeah, Longhorns moving the football again. There's up over almost 370 yards now of offense, and it's a mix and run pass. And Arch Manning's having a huge game.
The stalk blocking was good. The stalk blocking was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, good hole shot throw.
All right, Longhorns in the red zone again, and a chance to really clamp down on this football game. Defense gets the turnover, and man, this thing swung with that field goal, that end of half, 2 stops that got the field goal, and now 2 drives to start the second half. And this will be similar to that, Texas. What Texas had happened to them against Georgia, right? Arkansas had the ball 1 time, and all of a sudden, a close game is now could be 18 points if the Longhorns can punch this in.
Complimentary football.
Yep.
Lex Marie all days asked, "Where has that play been?" I think they haven't played Arkansas every week.
What the stalk block and go, the screen and go? They ran it last week versus Georgia.
It just doesn't show. It's just not wide open like it is against Arkansas.
No. DeAndre Moore got like 17 yards on the.
He got 17 on it. Yeah.
They run it. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. They run that play probably once a game. They do. Sark loves that play.
Yeah, because they run the screen, and then that's a variation off of that play that they're waiting on. And heck, even the DeAndre Moore touchdown, if you go back at the beginning, was they kind of faked that screen and then looked that way, and then that opened up DeAndre Moore for the touchdown. That's another variation of that same play.
Yeah, trying to get that safety to bite on the Ryan Ringo screen.
Yeah, you got 3. It's a kind of an option route, but way down the field is kind of the thing. And it starts with that screen setting up.
If you're not ready,
going to fight for yardage here and spin out of it. Nobody to get hurt on that, but get your foot out of the turf. To make it 3rd and 8, 3rd and goal from the 8. Boy, a touchdown would be nice here to go up clean 18 and not leave it a 2-score game at 14, but that's the opportunity right now. 3rd quarter brought to you by Callahan's General Store, family owned and family operated in Southeast Austin since 1978. Still there and still going strong. We'll tell you about them coming up when we get a timeout. But yes, the Longhorns, Arch Manning's huge game and huge performance against a rival continues. He's bought time, made plays, and scramble drill touchdown to DeAndre Moore. Scramble drill, you've been talking about that all year, Rod Babers.
Yeah, and honestly, that's something Georgia took away, right? We didn't have any scramble drill plays against Georgia. And that's when Arch is at his best. It's probably one of their best cheat codes. He does. I mean, once he improvises like that and buys time, it's really tough to cover somebody for 5-6 seconds.
All right, Longhorns separating this game now. And just like Longhorns had done to them last week with Georgia, Arkansas had the ball 1 time and turned it over. But the Longhorns scored 17 points to take this lead. It was a 1-point game. Now it's 18. And Arch Manning is up over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's caught one and thrown one. I mean, this is one of those load up the stat page kind of games that we thought it could be for Arch, and he's backing it up. He's playing his best all-around football right now. Longhorns are in control, up 38-20.
Sometimes you need a little bit of luck because I believe this pass goes right through number 4's hands. The Arkansas defender. It goes, I mean, Rod B style. It went right through his hand.
Yeah, he whistled it over his head, and he was
it went right through his hand.
It did. It did.
Right through his hands. Like he just didn't catch it. So I mean, it's like you need a little bit of luck when you ball it out. And
yeah,
you make your own luck right now, Arch's ball.
Well, and you give that up, you give up that field goal. But either way, let me tell you about our third quarter partner and sponsor here on the On Texas Football Watch Along. It's you know it if you lived in Austin for any amount of time, you know Callahan's General Store. Wish I could show you my yard right here because my yard's looking green and good right here. We just put down some winter ryegrass. I get all my yard and garden essentials at Callahan's, and I don't have to have a yard service that comes in and I have to pay them to do fertilizers and all that stuff. I go to Callahan's. They tell me exactly what to get and how much to apply and how to do it, what time of year. Make it a habit, go in there once a month or so, and my yard's looking great even through the winter. I'm putting down the pre-emergence, so I don't have to deal with weeds in the spring. That's pre-emergence to prevent the germination of those weeds. You don't have to pick them later. They're getting it done. And Callahan's knows there's only 2 seasons in Texas, football and spring football, but 4 seasons for your yard, and so you got to take care of it year-round. That's where you find all your answers. Also, holiday season is here. It's Christmas time. Get that Christmas list. You'll be surprised. Get into Callahan's, man. You can knock off a lot of things on your Christmas list. Power tools and their hardware section. Everything for your pets and furry friends. They've got that there at Callahan's. Plus, the back corner, huge area of Western wear where they've got the hats and the boots and the blue jeans and all the essentials for that Western person in your life, for the lease and the ranch. Great gear, great brands, great stuff at Callahan's General Store. It's just everything. I have a houseware section as well, plus decorations for indoor and outdoor Callahan's for Christmas and the Thanksgiving season, which is coming up, obviously. They are locally owned and family operated. They're a legend in Austin, Texas since 1978. They're at 501 Bastrop Highway in Austin between downtown and the airport, right there on 183. Just exit Montopolis. Stop by today. They're open 6 days a week. Won't be open tomorrow, but open every other day from 8 in the morning to 6 at night. Online at Callahan's General Store. It's always a good day to make it a Callahan's Day. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from Callahan's. And Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Longhorns are on their way now, looks like, taking control of this game. They've got another game in 6 days. Pretty odd, guys, to have one game at home in about 2 months and then have 2 straight in 6 days. But that's the opportunity, and it's some of the longest-standing rivals the Longhorns have, Arkansas and then Texas A&M. A&M hasn't been to this building in the DKR since 2010. Arkansas hadn't been into this building and played a road game at Texas since 2008. And the Longhorns taking care of business now. They've separated. It was 21-20. Now it's 38-20.
Considering the way the last 2 fourth quarters have gone defensively for Texas, it's definitely time to lock in, right? You've seen teams where they're in this kind of mode, this desperation mode, 2-minute drill mode, predictable passing situations. They've been able to make big plays against Texas because they've blown coverages, because they've had lapses in leverage. This is the time now for the Texas defense. You know that Arkansas is going to throw the football. They can try to run it, but they run it, they're only doing you a favor because time is not their friend now. So you know they're going to try to throw the football, and they need some chunk plays. So it's time for the DBs to lock in. I want to see a DB make a play on the football. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, that was the problem in the first half, Jerry. They rushed for 150 yards in the half, and that was able to keep Texas off balance, two-dimensional, and the run game was all types of varieties. Probably Petrino now knows they may only have 3 more possessions in this football game. And they've got to maximize them. They're down 18 points.
And backup quarterback KJ Jackson is in. He is 6 of 8 this year. He's thrown 1 pass in SEC play. You saw Taylor Green grabbing at his hamstring on the sideline. So KJ Jackson, the lefty out of Montgomery, Alabama, 6'4", 220 pounds. He threw, I think, 4 passes last year, but they redshirted him because he didn't play 4 games. But he has thrown 8 passes this season, only 1 in SEC play.
Well, and that first pass was not auspicious. I mean, that was right in the dirt.
Yeah.
That
was UTEP Arch.
What?
That was UTEP Arch.
That was not a good start. But either way, 3rd and 7 now.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is honestly for Texas defense now, a backup quarterback in there, and they got to throw the football. I expect
Yeah.
sacks and havoc plays and interceptions. I mean, this is the
And you
ideal
can
environment.
really separate this game right now. And as I said, this is a 2-8 team that's lost 8 in a row. They'll fold their tents here if this thing continues. Now they got their backup quarterback, and you can snatch their will with one more good defensive series here, and maybe get Arch Manning some time to rest on the fourth quarter, because remember, you got a game in 6 days.
Oh, come on, guys. We just talked about this. We just discussed this. We just talked about this.
Yeah, on third down, a chunk play with a backup quarterback. This defense not ideal. Obviously, they brought extra people, and
They're man coverage. They're in their quarter package, because I saw Jonah Williams on the field, middle field safety.
yeah, that's too. I know they wanted to bring pressure, but at the same time, with a backup quarterback, I'm making him beat me and not giving him man coverage. They let the running back sneak out. Michael Taft blitzed. Nobody picked up the running back behind him.
Yeah, I don't know if that was supposed to be who man was that. If that was Jelani McDonald's man. Like if that's the case, then why are you on the other side? He's offset to the right of the quarterback. Why are you on the left side?
Yeah, that was a miscommunication right there, big time. No green dot, Rod. No green dot on the field. So they're struggling.
That was a busted coverage. Looked like to me. That was a coverage.
It was. I don't know if Michael Taft was not supposed to blitz and was supposed to, but take him if the running back snuck out, if he was there to block. But at the same time, that was feel like that was on Taft, because he turned and like, I got to chase him.
Okay,
He didn't continue his blitz. He realized, and he got into the chase mode real fast, but damage was done. All right, Longhorns are going to have to face another third down here. Still not field goal range.
Third and long.
See if they can make up for that. And I'm thinking it's 2-down territory here for Bobby Petrino now that they've crossed the field.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, D linemen don't get mentioned much on the interior, but Alex January's playing really good football right now. I mean, he's playing at the highest level he has at Texas.
I agree with that.
He is making more penetrating plays as he's gotten older and gotten more experience, and he's becoming the player that I think Texas thought he could be, and he's doing it quietly.
Yep.
The conversion.
Oh, man, I thought we have a spy on him. Do we have a spy on the guy? Do we have a spy on him? Didn't look like it. Got an F1 package in.
Wow. I mean, that's just bad, guys. I mean,
sure,
they played coverage, and they had no one for the quarterback. I mean, the defensive line got, but there was really no pressure. I think they only rushed 3, and when it all was said and done,
rush 2.
Still didn't have anybody on the quarterback. Wow, that's poor.
Rush 2 on 3rd and 7.
Well, that's when where Brad Spence has to come up and make that tackle, because he's got help behind him.
Yeah, I was going to say that if we got that many guys in coverage, I mean, we're doubling everybody out.
I wouldn't worry about the receiver. That was just he put him in conflict, but he had guys behind him. He's got to know that. Just look like a confused defense right now, guys. Not trusting their assignments. And then they're getting into third down, but they've converted 2 of these. Now it's going to be 3rd and 12 here.
All right, so they're gonna put either the NASCAR package out there or the F1 package.
Well, on that toss sweep, I thought that was going to be a pass.
Oh, good job.
That was a deep toss.
Yeah, that was way back there. And
I thought that was going to be a pass. Maybe a pass the next time they do it.
Good D.
All right, this game approaching the end of this third quarter. It's brought to you by Callahan's General Store, but good defense right there. That was Michael Taft and Grayson Littleton. It's going to force a big opportunity for the Longhorns here. We've already converted 2 third downs on this drive.
Got lucky that ball was thrown at a kneecap.
Yeah, of course. Good play by the freshman.
Oh, good play by Ty Anthony Smith. Oh, no. Oh, no, don't call that. Oh, man. They call him targeting on that? Is that what they call him?
You're ahead of us, Rod. I'm still on the third down play, 3rd and 12. They're going to get it to a 3rd and manageable or 4th and manageable. Oh, wow.
I apologize.
No, you're fine, Rod.
Looked like his face mask was up. Did he hit the head and neck area is going to be the question. He had caught the ball. I mean, this is going to be one of those close ones. A lot of times they call it and go look at it, but we'll get a look. It looked like a hard hit, but he didn't lower his head, at least from my first vantage point, first view.
Let's see. It's a hard hit, but I'm with you. I feel like his head is up. I feel like his face mask is up. I don't feel like he lowers his head to the crown. But
yeah, and it's a helpless or defenseless receiver who had just caught the ball. He didn't have a step, so he wasn't a runner yet. Oh man, that view is going to be tough because he's just a shorter player, Ty Anthony Smith. But
that's the hard thing that's the tough thing about this, about targeting, is if a smaller player catches the ball and starts to crouch, what are you supposed to do?
You can't stop your momentum. You're going at that point.
You're running full speed.
I just think, guys, because they're going to say head and neck area, but as long as his head is up, he's not lowering his head and using the crown of his helmet and then just trying to make a clean football play. You got to respect the defensive player's ability to do that. And it's just a collision. It's a bang, bang thing. Nothing malicious there by 26.
By the way, Buddy Pal, Chief Big Guy, if this idiotic rule is an ejection, he misses the first half of A&M.
Oh,
yeah, and Anthony Hill is he'll be questionable for 6 days from now.
I didn't think about that. Oh man,
great point, buddy.
I feel like he has. I feel like he's seeing what he's hitting though. That's how I would teach it. If I'm like, teach my kids how to tackle without a.
Well, I will say they have overruled more of these than I can remember this year. They've been more, generous to the defensive players when they did make an attempt to not lower their head and just make a clean tackle. And as you said, Jerry, that's a shorter player who's catching the ball and immediately his human instinct is to crouch to get braced for impact. Really hard to prevent that at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, are they going to call the launch on Ty Anthony Smith on that?
That's what I'm saying. Like once I'm launched in the air, like it's, and like I said, it keeps his head up for the most part. I don't think he lowers the crown.
No.
The launch is going to be because he did kind of leave his feet a little bit.
He did launch, but he kept the head up and launched.
Yeah, he did. We'll see. This is a big play for a lot of reasons. Obviously, as the chat says, also Texas would be facing a fourth down. It wouldn't be a first down at the 15-yard line. That would be the third conversion on this drive. Longhorns defense has gotten them to third and long, and they've blew a coverage on a third down. They also didn't, they dropped to 9 players and still couldn't contain the quarterback. And now this one could be a penalty going the other way that would, give another first down on a third down.
People that are at the game in the stands saying it's been upheld. So while they're at commercial, they're saying it's been upheld.
Damn.
He's out for the first half of A&M.
Damn.
Well, now they're really, really thin at linebacker, guys, because that's Anthony Hill and Ty Anthony Smith. And that means you're down to, LaFau and Trey Moore.
And they're already attacking linebacker with tight ends and
Is this where we're going to see the freshman here, Jerry? Who's the kid from South Dallas?
Yeah, Bo Barnes. I don't know about that. Rod, will you see the bigger nickel with
Jelani McDonald
Williams,
nickel I can see that. I can see the big nickel being kind of a staple going forward. Just they want experience now. Now you need this offense is really good and the Aggies are really good. You can't afford to have guys out there who don't have experience, don't know the system.
All right. Well, Longhorns defense, you're not kicking field goals now.
Woo, that was a hell of a play, son. That was a hell of a play, young man.
What do we got, Rod? Turnover?
No, by Cade Phillips. Good play. Good play. Just knocked the ball away. Good PBU. Like we said, DB's got to start making plays on the ball. Roll out. It was basically the same concept that Georgia scored on. This first score they had, except Cade Phillips, it was a rollout and a deep out by that tight end, I believe. And Cade Phillips just stuck with it. Hell of a play. He's
going to be a real good player.
You know what? It's a good play by Cade Phillips. That's a young quarterback. He was a split second late releasing that ball. That play was wide. That was open.
I know. I was going to say, it was basically the same.
He was late on the throw.
Yep. It was the same concept Georgia scored on pretty much.
Yep.
Well, now this thing is grinding to a halt. They're going to review this play, it looks like. All right, big second down. You have to worry about deep. You got to contain a backup quarterback here. Taylor Green, if you're just jumping on with us, out with a bit of a hamstring. Now they're going to look at this play. Let me tell you about Callahan's General Store one more time. Our third quarter brought to you by Callahan's. Also, make sure you're checking out in our group chat in the group chat there. There's a link to Backer, BCKR Backer, that Longhorn Limited, that great gear. Click through there, check it out. Everything bought with Backer, all the Backer gear today. Get a free hat, so you get something for yourself. One of those jackets, pullover, Longhorn licensed gear that's built better because you deserve better. With Backer, you can get that gear for yourself or buy it for somebody for Christmas. You're also going to get a free hat during our watch along. Check that out at backer.com. But Callahan's General Store, bring to the third quarter. What do we think, guys? Catch or no catch?
Man, they call that a catch. I want a line on the game too. Like, what the hell is going on?
Oh, the line's 9, Rod. The line's 9. But while we have time, for during this BS review, we should talk about the dangers of riding motorcycles without helmets. That happened in Arkansas a little over a decade ago.
Wow.
There's a lot of danger in that.
The young folks wouldn't even get the reference there, Jerry. They got to go.
All right, incomplete pass.
Oh man. Yeah, of course that was it. Why do we look at that? Like they couldn't tell who the hell thought that was complete. Like I don't know anybody who thought that was complete. He was like that's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Hey, they're thorough, but yes, didn't need it. The ball, you got to control the ball to the ground. He clearly did not do that. And then Cade Phillips made a nice play. So now here we go. This will be another third down opportunity for the Longhorns. Or second down, you're going to get the third down.
Ooh. Don't spoil it. Should have had that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he should have had it. Did the ref get in his way? Oh, hits the ref. Oh, hit the ref in the head. Oh, like on the shoulder. The foul was going to get it, I think. Oh. Damn, hit the zebra. That's wild.
Yep, they're live action. It was going to be possibly a pick, and yeah, official gets in the way, and the Longhorns are back in business here. What do we got? Fourth down now, Ron?
Third down coming up for you guys, and yep, fourth down because great play by Taft Daddy here. I think Texas playing more man to man. I bet. I'm telling you, they may play more man to man this game they've played in a long time.
Good pressure by Colin Simmons that time. Good tackle by Taft Daddy. And I think would they even consider kicking a field goal here? I don't think 3 points does them much good. It does give it back to a 14-point game.
They got this weird thing where they're rushing only 2 guys. I don't like it. Not a fan.
What's that?
Just 2 guys on some of these downs.
All right, so Arkansas going to kick a field goal to get it back to a 2-score game. It'll be 15-point lead for the Longhorns.
Yeah. Good.
But that was mission accomplished. They took up most of the third quarter after the Longhorns scored quickly twice. That was a long drive that took 5 minutes off the clock. Now the Longhorns with a 2-score lead can try to keep Arch Manning's hot hand going. But successful. You gave up too many third downs, and you may lose Ty Anthony Smith or you're going to lose Ty Anthony Smith for the A&M first half. That's a bummer. Guys, what do you think? What's the play doctor on the YouTube cast here? What are the chances Anthony Hill can play in 6 days?
I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't count on it. As a coach, you gotta hope. You can hope for the best. You better prepare for the worst, and the worst would be Anthony Hill's out, and so is Ty Anthony Smith for the first half. So, like Jerry said, either big nickel becomes one of your options there. You can kind of obviously manipulate how you want to play base personnel based on how many linebackers you have available. And you got LaFau, who's been a steady rock for you there. You got Brad Spence, who can move around as well. And of course, you got Trey Moore, you can move around. Thank God you cross-trained those guys. This is why you did it. Because if you didn't cross-train those guys at this point, you'd be stuck. You'd be SOL. This is why you cross-train guys, so you can manufacture depth. So they have some options. It's just not the ideal situation going into – I'm not even going to –
You wonder with Anthony Hill, they kept him out of that. He was questionable this week, but – he was giving it a go. We'll see. 6 days from now. But Jerry, he was committed to A&M for a while. He wants to beat A&M and play against the Aggies.
Ty Anthony Smith. So is Ty Anthony. Both the committed guys. Dang.
Wow, that's crazy.
Hey, by the way, JBSB for Jesus. Watch the onside kick. I don't know if that's PTSD or good coaching, but I agree.
Good job. Love it.
Yeah, you got to be watching for that right now.
Yep.
Hey, did you guys ever get an explanation or you come up with anything that why early in that first half the DeAndre Moore was back to field that punt and not Ryan Niblett?
I think they were going to run a reverse because that's
Okay.
the first time they've put two back all season that I can remember, Rod.
Okay, thank you for that. We were like, what in the world? And then DeAndre Moore just made a bad decision.
Yeah, bad decision.
So there was a trick play on. I didn't know Niblett was back there too.
Notre Dame 70-0 over Syracuse, by the way.
Yeah, they've got a block punt for a touchdown. They've got I think they have 3 defensive touchdowns in addition to all the offensive scores.
Yeah.
If you get in the 70s, you definitely scored multiple non-offensive touchdowns. Like,
yes.
There's not enough possessions really to get to that kind of number.
Yeah.
Oregon leads USC 28-21 right now and driving, by the way, with about that game's a little bit behind ours. It's 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. We're at the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. Good game, though. Oregon's moving the football against that Lincoln Riley defense.
Yeah, Syracuse looked so bad. Jim Boeheim just peed in his pants again. For those that missed Syracuse basketball in the last couple of years when he was
Hey, Jerry, while we got a minute here, before the Longhorns get the ball back here, our third quarter brought to you by Callahan's General Store, a true Austin legend since 1978. Still family owned and operated. Give us a little preview. Like Texas going to Maui during the holiday this Thanksgiving week for the Maui Invitational in basketball.
Yeah, the first game, Arizona State on the 24th. That starts at 10:30 p.m. Central Time, so get your nap from 8 to 10 and wake up for the game. But Arizona State, a little bit better than last year. Point guard's a good player. They have a couple of kids they brought in from overseas that are good players for them. Texas will be favored. Texas should win the game, but it's a game you got to go out and play well. If they can get that one, they'll play Washington State in the semis, who plays Chaminade. I'm not saying Chaminade can't beat somebody. Hell, they beat Rick Barnes one year there, and Virginia. But Washington State should win. If Texas gets the Arizona State game, they'll beat Washington State. Then they're off to the finals to play either NC State or USC, which will be an absolute tough game. So hopefully Texas gets the first one. Because 3 games in 3 days, if you're going to be there and play 3 games in 3 days, you may as well get to the finals and play for something.
Agreed. Texas women also with a huge game this week. They're playing at UCLA in a tournament, which for Vic Schaefer's team, that's a top 5 matchup with that group. So that'll be fun. Longhorns coming back. Arch Manning is having a huge game. He's 15-25, 309 yards and 3 touchdowns. And, it'll be noted by a lot. He's also caught a touchdown pass from Parker Livingston on a trick play in the red zone. He's also thrown a run for a touchdown. So 5 total touchdowns for Arch today for the Longhorns. All 5 are directly from Arch.
D-Money 983 says, I would like to see a true linebacker take more spot.
Yes.
I don't know if they have any right now that are experienced enough, right, Jer?
Now, I mean, unless they go to Bo Barnes. And look, I'm not sure if Bo is ready for the Arkansas offense, right, as a defender in pass coverage. I think Bo's going to be a really good player, but that's a pretty big ask for a guy that hadn't played all year.
Charlie _B_good. Thanks for the super chat. What has caused this drastic regression on defense? I would say the back end. I mean, I think the regression started with the secondary and then it deteriorated from there. I think there's several concepts you've been exposed on, like rollouts, curl routes, crossing routes, and then from then tight ends have been a problem for Texas. And I think that's a nice one. Good catch, Parker Livingston. As the season has gone on, other teams have added to that blueprint on how to beat Texas. And so now to my point, I think the blueprint is out on how you attack Texas offensively. Move the pocket a lot, rollouts, that kind of stuff. Says Sark is undisciplined play caller. No, I just think he's set in his ways. He's a stubborn play caller, I would say.
Yeah.
Not undisciplined, just stubborn. Which a lot of them are, by the way. Most of them, honestly.
Yep.
Boy,
play here. The Longhorns are Arch is up over 350 yards passing now, having a huge game. Parker Livingston getting deep again. He's a big play waiting to happen. They're going to need a lot of these big plays against A&M because with the injuries and the defense playing like they are, it's going to be you have to score some points against A&M. There are guys in this half Hall of Fame making plays like that. Now it's 15 yards and they kick the kid out of 2 games. Soft. Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, it's a rule that I think is too penal. I know they're trying to protect head and neck and concussions, but man, that's tough for a young guy just making a football play. He's going to miss the rest of this game and next week. I agree. I think it's too punishing of a penalty.
You got to coach it though, because I don't disagree with you. By the way, E, I think you're right. But because of how punitive it is, you got to coach it up. Like you got to coach it. You got to coach guys. Hey, I need you to see what you hit. Don't lower your head. You got to coach it up the right way. I don't think Tyson Smith did anything wrong. Sometimes it's bad circumstance, right? So.
All right, that's the Longhorns' fourth penalty, 37 yards. That's one of those dreaded false starts. So in the red area, it's going to make it 3rd and 15 instead of more manageable. Longhorns would not like to settle for a field goal, but it would get it back to a 3-score game. So you'll take that. This drive has been pretty quick, though. I'd like to see more clock off. It's going to be under. This drive may end the third quarter. We're close to it.
Yeah, they know that they don't run the ball, so that's why the drives.
They go too fast. Yeah, they can't grind it out.
Yeah.
Arch missed injuries on that one. That may have been a touchdown.
Did it get tipped or something? Because it was really high. That was really high.
That may have been a score. At least got the ball inside the 5.
Yeah. I like the play. I mean, that was going to clear out and have an opportunity. All right, the penalty.
Beautiful.
Is Arch Manning going to add a 6th touchdown?
Beautiful. Scramble drill. The scramble drill is back, ladies and gentlemen. The scramble drill is back.
Well, Arch Manning just having himself one heck of a ball game here. This is player of the week kind of stuff.
I mean, Texas was averaging close to 10 yards per play on scramble drill coming into this game, even after Georgia shut you down. You didn't have one good play on scramble or the scramble drill, and it's back. It's such an effective, second off script play for Texas that you have to encourage Arch to do it because he's so good at it. He really is.
You're right about that, Rod. All right, so Arch Manning, 6 total touchdowns in this game. He's got 4 through the air, 1 on the ground, 1 as a receiver on a trick play, the Philly special they ran, and the Longhorns have 45 points and feeling pretty good now with a backup quarterback in this game. Longhorns have a 22 point lead here.
Ooh, yeah.
Some people have asked in the chat about any updates from recruits. No, I wouldn't expect anything during a game or shortly after the game. Look, I think a lot for the kids that are on campus today from a recruiting standpoint, Bryson Martinez and Richard Anderson. If Lane Kiffin announces the day after the Egg Bowl he's going to LSU, those kids will go to LSU, in my opinion. The other guys at this game that are not committed, Rocky Cummins, Josiah Vilmel, Jet Walker, Caden Scher. As far as OVs go, I feel pretty good about at least 3 of those guys. We'll see. Rocky Cummings never been on campus before till this weekend. So we'll see where that goes. A number of the committed guys are here today. Derek Cooper, James Johnson out of South Florida, both made it in for the game today. Richard Wesley, Hayward Howard Jr., a few of the other guys. Max Wright is here today. I did forget to mention Jamarion Carlton's back. For those wondering, Texas would take Carlton if he wants to flip from Baylor to Texas. So we'll see what happens there. I think Texas has look, this is the second game this month, so that's pretty telling.
Yeah. Good stuff right there. 50 seconds to go in the third quarter. Longhorns good tackle that time, Jalen Gilbo. We haven't seen a lot of Jalen Gilbo in the base defense today, or at least I haven't seen number 3 much.
I think they've rotated him, man, but it's definitely been, the young buck.
Less than we've seen.
Cade Phillips started. And actually talked to Michael Huff before the game, and he was like, young buck's gonna get the starting nod.
Yeah.
Like
that's Cade Phillips, right?
Yeah, they would, that all week long. It was like Cade Phillips is gonna be the guy. So
well, you got a baptism by fire. He's a good, rangy, talented player. He's safe to say Cade Phillips, Jerry, the future, number 1 cover corner in this program.
Yeah, for sure. Next year. I mean, well, I'll say this.
If they move Grayson Littleton.
Unless they move Grayson Littleton in the corner. Then it's close. Then it's a tight race.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rod? I just feel like he would be a perfect star guy. Littleton's with his instincts and just how aggressive he is. I don't know. It'll sort itself out.
I would leave him there just because he's been one of the most consistent pieces in the secondary as a true freshman this year, and it's so hard to find stars at the nickel position because it's such a tough position to play. You got to be a multifaceted player, have a well-rounded skill set. Basically, I say you got to have a Sunday skill set to play nickel at Texas, whether it's in the Big 12 or the SEC, and I still think it's true today. So I think that's the truth for Grayson Littleton. Now you got your nickel for the next 2 years. Go find you a corner. Go out there in the portal and get one. Go find you another corner, unless you think one of these young bucks can handle it. But hope is not a strategy. You tried that this year on the O-line. Hope ain't a strategy. Go get you a player that is more of a proven commodity to compete with those young guys, and then let the chips fall where they may. But don't leave any stone unturned when it comes to that other corner spot next year, because teams are going. That may be your one weakness, and we saw what it is. Teams attack it. It was this year.
Yeah. What do you think about the development of a guy like Kobe Black? I mean, I agree with you, Rod, 100%. Getting the portal to be aggressive. Is Kobe Black not developing like they had hoped?
No, I like Kobe Black. I do. I'm a big fan of Kobe Black. I think that's why you got to let the cream rise to the top. Bring in somebody to compete with him. But I've been a Kobe Black fan. I really do. I think ultimately they want to go to start playing more man coverage. That's why they started recruiting these freaks. And I think the more they lean into that, the more a guy like Kobe Black will shine. Cade Phillips will shine. Go look this year. This game they played more.
Kobe Black right there coming up, making a tackle, being aggressive, wearing number 6. The 5-star kid out of Waco. Good player, but just got to keep learning.
Hey, Rod, question. If Jelani McDonald goes pro, and I think he's got a decision to make, you lose McDonald, you lose Taft. Jonah Williams will be in baseball in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go hard portal at corner and move Kobe Black to safety and see if he can make a bigger impact there? Because he does lack a little long speed at corner.
I will say it's a great question. And
hold on, Rod, pick it up on their side because they're going to break. We're not going to break. You go.
Because ultimately you don't know what the portal is going to have available, right? Well, you don't know necessarily the kind of talent you're going to have in the portal, but you know there's a good chance there will be a good safety or a corner in there. You may not have both. So I think it kind of depends on what the portal presents to you too.
Yeah.
And maybe, like you said, maybe because of if Jelani McDonald goes to the league, then maybe you prioritize safety. And you're like, all right, you know what, it'd be ideal to get a guy like Makuba in here.
Yes.
Makubas don't grow on trees. But you like to get a guy that can play multiple positions for you in the secondary. And then you'll have more options. Hey, if Kobe Black doesn't work out, I can move another guy out there. And I think you should use Grayson Littleton in that way too. Like he should also be an insurance policy for you that if you want to get your best 5 guys in the secondary out there, maybe it means, you know what, I got to move him here. I got to move him around to a certain place. So I think you got to be flexible because you don't know what the transfer portal is going to have available to you.
I think my thought is Kobe Black has safety physicality. And I just wonder with his lack of long turn and run, long speed, if he would be better suited in his size, if he might be better suited as a safety long term. My conversation with him would be, you're not going to be a corner in the league if you get there. Safety might give you the best chance to have an elongated football career. How open would you be to that?
It's a good point, Jim. And then your coverage skills are an asset at safety.
Yeah.
Whereas now people may challenge your coverage skills or question them at corner. It's like, no, you know you can cover anybody they ask you to cover at safety pretty much. I bet.
Yeah. Good stuff. That's good debates. Obviously, Sark said after the A&M game, they'll really evaluate the portal, obviously, and their roster. Right now, about 76, 77% of their production for Texas comes from underclassmen, so they're going to have a talented roster in the next year. But do have to be smart with your targets into that portal. Let us thank our friends in the third quarter one more time. Callahan's General Store, a true Austin legend since 1978. Also remind you, our first quarter sponsor was Backer Brands and that limited, that licensed Longhorn gear, which is just made better because you deserve better. And you can still click on that link that's in the messages, the chat right there, right at the top. They've linked it, the Backer link, where you can get in there and get yourself some gear, some Texas gear for the holidays, Christmas. It looks great. It wears great. They were just frustrated that they couldn't find gear that was branded the Longhorns that was going to stand the test of time. Wasn't flimsy gear made by college football fans who love college football, also wearing great gear and talking trash to their friends. That's Backer, BCKR. check them out and see if Matthew can flash some of that stuff up there in that QR code. See right there. If you click on that, you'll get through and make that happen. Backer, great stuff. So check it out. That's a brand that they've been in the outdoor field and outdoor realm for a long time, making high quality gear. And those are the hats you're going to want to get. If you buy a piece of Backer gear, a pullover, a jacket, a zip front, the hoodies, they're going to give you a free hat just for doing it. So you can get yourself something and also have a gift for somebody to put under the Christmas tree. But there you go. They got that new white pullover. They got the zip up with the hood. Great looking stuff. The waterproof coat for those rainy days, but it all says got the Bevo on it. And remember, 10% of all sales during this broadcast when you get on there and into the holidays. Everything they do, 10% goes right to Longhorn Athletics and the Longhorn athletes for their NIL. So check out that Backer gear. That's BCKR, and you can back your favorite team with a higher quality brand of stuff. Plus, get that free hat for all purchases today. Thank you, Matthew, very much. As we get into
by the way, Aaron, speaking of NIL, you asked about basketball earlier. The women's tournament they go to, Texas gets $1 million for NIL. Playing in the Maui Invitational, $1 million for NIL.
Wow.
So I think Maui's trying to save their tournament long term because coaches don't want to play 3 games in 3 days anymore. But is it worth it to get $1 million in NIL? Maybe. Yeah. Probably. Absolutely.
Dang.
Yeah, and it's not very costly if you don't win that tournament, but you get a trip to Maui for your kids and $1 million for your kitty. Fourth quarter brought to you by Driven Auto Service. We'll tell you about Driven, and we tell you about how to buy a car from Driven, but also how to keep your car running with their great service shops, 2 of them. But 45-23 Longhorns. Arch Manning's having a Heisman caliber good day today against this Arkansas defense. You felt like they could be some big numbers, but those are big. Longhorns could go over 500 yards of offense in this quarter coming up.
Tight ends.
Yeah, that's going to be, Mike Elko and Colin. What's the quarter? Colin Klein. They're watching this, man. They're going to be going after the Longhorn linebackers in a big way in coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, their tight ends are a lot better than Arkansas. They got 2 pros. Like they have 2 for sure NFL tight ends on that team.
Yeah, they do. They got it. And their receivers are elite at A&M. Obviously, Casey Concepcion is one of the biggest big playmakers in the country. Mario Craver was a big pickup for them from Mississippi State.
That play right there, I would love to see Sark run that with Nick Townsend. He might run all day. Just FYI.
Hey, that's one of the things about playing. Bobby, you can talk about Bobby Petrino all day. Sark can steal some ideas for the Aggies. You can grab some of this and say, hey, that's a good concept. I like that play a lot. Bobby Petrino can show you some things. He's one of the best.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence that the leading receivers for Arkansas are all tight ends. And I've talked about the last 3 weeks that teams have been killing Texas tight. So here's your last. This is not including this game, even though the 2 leading receivers are tight ends. Last 4 games for Texas, 75% completion percentage to tight ends, over 60% first down touchdown rate when you target tight ends, almost 10 yards per target. Like I said, now you're losing linebackers who are also your best coverage defenders on the second level. Texas needs to figure out, and it might be just letting an extra big nickel, an extra DB cover the tight end, period.
Justice Terry in the game.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. Well, so, first half and with Coach Shipley in the second quarter, a lot of criticism for Texas and the defense. And got to give credit here. The defense is stiffened. I know they're not playing great, but at the same time, this game was 21-20, and the Longhorns have seized control of it with some stops, a turnover forced, and the offense has been great. They're now up 45-23, so a 25-3 run here for the Longhorns to seize control of this game through the third quarter, end of the second quarter, into the third quarter. What you needed to see. You didn't need this game to be tight and tough and tight in this fourth quarter. Heck, you get one more stop and add one more score, you might be able to get Arch Manning out of this game potentially. And get your quarterback in the game.
Grayson Littleton, good tight coverage, make a hell of a play on the football.
I'll say this about Arkansas: whoever's the next head coach, KJ Jackson, isn't your answer. You better go find one in the portal.
Yes,
that was a slow, long throw to the flat earlier.
Should have been.
Wow, that was floating. That was Uncle Rico style.
Yeah, exactly.
None of this dog will hunt in the SEC I've seen from him.
No, that's well, that goes back to the Eric Morris thing at North Texas. Drew Mestemaker could come with him.
Yep.
Former Vandegrift Viper right here. You Congrats, by the way,
Yeah.
here in Austin to Vandergrift, Lake Travis, and Dripping Springs all advancing in the playoffs last night.
That young buck out there showing out. It's a good play.
That Taylor Green injury is pretty big as far as the people who bet on Texas.
Oh, yeah.
There's a drastic fall off.
That offense is they can't operate the same without him.
No, I mean, and they're down.
And your quarterback run game's gone.
Yep.
Hey, Rod, you said you talked to Michael Huff before the game, a good buddy of yours, of course, part of DBU. Honored before this game. He's going into the College Football Hall of Fame. I'm sure he's pretty excited.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, sorry.
No, y'all got to – I can't talk through this because we're about to get it. Colin Simmons, guys. I think – does that give him 10? Is he at 10 sacks?
That's 10.
A hell of a way to get to double digits.
Here it comes. Oh, yeah, and the strip and the fumble and the recovery. And this game is get on the ground there. Lion, nope, he's going to score. Longhorns going to get a defensive touchdown, and this game is over. Colin Simmons, 52-yard fumble recovery touchdown, and the Longhorns have now doubled up Arkansas. It's 51, about to be 52-23. Defense, after giving up 20 early points, have given up 3, and they forced 2 big turnovers. You know, they're only at the injury to Taylor Green's huge, obviously, and then the Longhorns. But I will give credit to the Longhorns as a team playing complementary football, guys, to double dip at end of the half, into the third quarter, and then get a turnover and score again to separate the game. I mean, that's what we want to see. This game looked like it was trending to be a close game in the fourth quarter. It is not.
Well, considering the way your last 2 fourth quarters have gone, right? Vanderbilt, y'all scored by 21 points in the fourth quarter. Georgia, y'all scored by 21 points in the fourth quarter. I'm sure a point of emphasis among the coaching staff has been, guys, we got to finish games. All right, we got to be able to finish a game, whether it be we're behind and we need to finish to close out the game and try to win it, or we're ahead and we want to put our opponent down once and for all. We got to start finishing stronger, and that's an example of finishing stronger.
100%. Colin Simmons, 10th sack, strip sack, fumble. I mean, his play last week, the jump off sides, I still think the biggest play of that game. Who knows what happens if Texas gets a punt and they're down 14-10 with the whole fourth quarter. Instead, it was 28-10 the next time they got the ball back, and his penalty was critical in that. But he makes a huge play here. Longhorns are sealing this deal, and Taylor Green had a turnover on his final play, but he was giving them a chance. And this is do you even put Arch Manning back in the game at this point, guys?
No,
I would not. No, that's crazy. That's wild. No way.
No,
Matthew
no.
Caldwell,
You bring in Matt Caldwell. You bring in James Simon. If you want to stick with a couple of starting wideouts, that's fine. But
I wouldn't stick with any of them.
Well, remember,
you know why? Get Matt Caldwell in the game. He's a play away. He's a play away. He needs to be time.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rod. I mean, Jerry, I'd like to see Matt Caldwell with the first team offense at least once, and then you start bringing the bench in just to let him work with that number one unit, get some chemistry. Because you're right. I mean, 1 week, 1 play against games in 6 days. The other part of it's a short week, Rod. I mean, you played in these short weeks. I mean, to get off your feet a little bit here late, get this game will wrap up right before dinner. I mean, they're going to play in 6 days, which they're used to the routine. That's going to change up this week for both teams.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. Start getting those guys out. Caldwell time. And, I had a comment from somebody who was on the sideline for the Georgia game. And they just like that Caldwell, no matter what, dude, he is locked in. Usually backups are kind of relaxed and, it's like this dude is constantly locked in. Like it's almost like his focus on the sideline is kind of awkward, he said. Like it's like he's ready at any point to go in. And I said that does track with how well he's played when he comes in.
Yeah.
I think about the moments he's come in and
no doubt.
For the game, he delivers a strike and then he comes in, changes the play, audibles a game-winning touchdown fade in the back of the end zone. Mississippi State game, he is locked in, and I said it actually does track to what we've seen. Trace Little here says Phillips should be the starter. Well, he did start.
Yeah.
Like I said, Michael Huff told me before the game, he was like, "Oh no, Cade Phillips gonna get the start," and he said they're trying to play the young bucks more. Period. In the secondary, they're at that point now. I think they've exhausted all the the experiments and the solutions. It's like, all right, you know what? If any of you older guys on the same level with these younger guys, why the hell am I sticking with the older guys at this point?
Yeah.
We're in the 11th game of the season. I might as well just see if these young bucks can see if I can expedite their development. I think they're at that point now in the secondary for some spots.
Makes sense. Hey, Rod, pick up that question I asked you about Huff Daddy going into the Hot. I mean, I'm sure he's pretty honored to be, he was honored before this game and for his contributions to Texas football. That had to be a big moment for him.
Yeah, it was huge. And I asked him, actually, I was like, so what's your defining moment? You're a Hall of Famer and you've had a great NFL career, and now you're coming back to Texas. Like, what's the define when you think about it? What still gives you chills? And he described the team moment, stopping USC on 4th down. He said, like, that's my defining moment.
Yep.
The team moment. And we asked him, like, what do you want to be remembered as? He's like, I want to be remembered as a guy that gave back to the University of Texas and the fans and the community. So he's a wise old man now. I still remember him as a young buck who came in when I was a senior and he was a freshman. But the talent was undeniable from the jump, and I think he just learned how to be an overall great football player. But I mean, the guy came in with elite skill sets and traits, right? Elite skills. He was fast. The guy could cover. He was a natural coverage specialist. But what he became was an all-around great player, and I'll give him a ton of credit because when I left, he wasn't he wasn't the Thorpe Award winner. He wasn't that caliber player. But by the time I came back to see him, and he was the best defensive back in the country.
Yep.
And by the way, the little update here. USC is on the Oregon 9. Oregon's up 35-21 in this game. So as USC just scored. So it's now 35-28 with 11 and a half minutes to go. That is a big – Oregon needs to win that game. They just kind of went through the 7 or 8 scenarios that need to happen for Texas if Texas were to beat A&M next week. USC needs to lose. Oregon needs to hold on and win that.
USC just scored. It's now 35-28.
35-28, yep.
And looked like Oregon was going to go in for a kill shot and got a big stop. And now here comes USC right back to make it a one-score game.
I would say this. So this was an impressive for Texas, considering, and I know you end up knocking out the quarterback, but man, Arkansas has played everybody pretty tough this season. And,
somebody's asking in the chat, would game day come to Austin?
Depends.
Michigan, Ohio State's out there. Because that's Saturday too. I don't know if they'd travel for a Friday game.
They didn't come Friday morning, I don't think.
It'll be a Saturday game. So you're looking at Ohio State at Michigan more than likely, unless they go to Knoxville, Vanderbilt, and Tennessee.
Yeah, that's possible. Nashville's always fun. Or Knoxville, not Nashville. Yeah. Sorry. USC going for 2, by the way.
After the game Diego Pavia is having today, it wouldn't shock me if they didn't go to Knoxville.
What did Diego do? I didn't see that.
Yeah, he balled out.
32 of 38 for 469.
Dang. That was his senior day too, guys. I think he's going to be gone. I think that was the last game Diego Pavia is ever playing in Nashville, Tennessee. I think. You never know. He might sue somebody again.
He's got good lawyers, man. He's got good lawyers.
Yes.
Yeah, if he'll be in an NFL camp as a what, I don't know. If he doesn't make that, Dana White will sign him to some sort of contract.
Or he'll be in WWE somewhere.
Yeah, he came Scataboo.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. Texas penalty holding that time. So it's going to be Longhorns just want to let the clock run here. That's going to be incomplete pass, but they're going to call a hold. Looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I give Texas credit. We're certainly on them in the first half with all the blown assignments on defense, but man, to take control of this game the way they did, it felt like this thing was trending to a game you don't want to be in. They really twisted, took it in all phases and then real complimentary football. The offense was humming from the beginning. Just needed the defense to get some stops, and they've done that, and they've really separated this game. And I think you were about to go into it, Rod. Arkansas's played everybody close. This one obviously is not going to be a close football game.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame's the only one that kind of whipped him, right? Notre Dame just straight up whipped him.
Yeah, and that was from the jump. That was it for Sam Pittman.
Yeah, and I think
because they didn't fight in that game, but at least they fought every game since.
Yeah, they
were. I got to bring up a question. Explain going for 2 by USC. It's unexplainable. It's horrific coaching, horrific decision make. They went
No.
for 2 instead of kicking the PAT to go to 35-28 with 11 minutes to go. Somebody asked, why? Explain it. I can't explain it. That's horrible coaching, horrible decision making, unbelievably bad call. Stupid Lincoln Riley.
So they missed it though. They did not convert. Okay.
But why would you go for it? It's 35-20.
I agree. It's only a good call if you made it. Otherwise, it's a stupid call.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, now you're down. I mean, I don't understand. You're 7, but what does it even mean to get to 6?
I agree. It doesn't make any sense. It
Maybe
doesn't.
maybe he's thinking 2 field goals. I don't know.
It doesn't. You can't justify it. You can't. Justify
Unbelievable.
It. Yeah.
These guys and their analytics can all fly a kite, man.
Oh. Yeah, that's sticky coverage. I like it. It was still sticky. Gave it up, but it was sticky.
The Arkansas is up over 400 yards of offense now, but we know even with they got good players, their offense is one of the best in the conference. But yeah, good coverage that time, just a good throw.
But I'm glad
a rebound.
Riley went for it.
Good throw. Yes.
That's something Dan Lanning would do.
Yeah.
But the reason he was so close, because they're playing bump and run out there now wide. It's like they're playing man under. That's why he was on the outside.
All right, Longhorns need to bend but don't break here. See if you can, because I don't think they'll kick another field goal down as much as they are here. But I think that Texas has an opportunity to get off the field on a 4th down if they can. But that's a 1st down for them, 3rd and 1. But compressing this game, it's brought to you by Driven Auto Service. We told you about Driven Auto Sales in the 2nd quarter. They also have a couple great service shops, one in Buda, one in New Braunfels, right across from Buc-ee's there off 35. That's called Garland Transmission and Service. 2 great places to get your vehicle serviced by great people, Jeremy Jones and his team, Driven Auto Service and Garland Transmission and Service here in our 4th quarter. Longhorns up 52-23 in our Texas watch along.
Good play by young Cade Phillips, man. He's out there balling. All right, gentlemen, I'm getting ready for the post game. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Rod. Hook 'em.
Thanks, guys.
All right, looks like Arkansas is going to get a touchdown. Jerry, tell us how you really feel about Lincoln Riley.
Well,
that is dumb.
It's dumb. I said stupid for Texas. It was great. He went for it.
Yeah, Texas needs USC to lose that game.
Oh man, jeez.
Oh, missed tackle by Trey Moore that time, and a missed tackle by
Zena.
2 linebackers. Yeah, they ran through it. That's a touchdown. So it's going to be 52-30. The defensive stats are taking a beating here headed into the A&M game, but it's going to get a W as this game is now under 8 minutes. But as we said, Arch Manning probably not coming back in this game. That's just that's shoddy tackling there.
That's bad. Well, I mean, we'll see if Texas worked on their onside kick defense coming up.
Yeah, because that's coming. They got to steal a possession here at some point. That's really what separated this game. The Longhorns using that halftime to kick a field goal and come out and score to separate the game a little bit, and then then the turnover forced, and this game got out of hand in that stretch where it went from 21-20 to 20 to 38-20, and now it's 52-30. Longhorns the defensive touchdown on the board. So 7:46 to go in our 4th quarter. Brought to you by Driven Auto Service. So you're pretty sure? Have you heard from anybody at the stadium, Jerry, about Matthew Caldwell warming up?
I have not, but I'm quite sure that is happening. But with this touchdown, maybe not now.
Yeah, you wonder. Now they'll see what they do with this onside kick. But Rod said it. I think you need to get Matthew Caldwell. He hadn't played since that big throw in overtime. I mean, they need to get him out there and see if he can make something happen.
So, by the way, we're up to 878 yards of total offense in this game. Texas 453, Arkansas 425. Penalties, Texas only has 5 for 47. Well, I say only because that's well below their average. And Arkansas 7 for 50. Texas 7 of 10 on 3rd down, 4-4 in the red zone. But here's the bad news: Arkansas is 4-4 in the red zone too. So 8 of 8 in the red zone in this game, guys.
Yeah, I mean that's it's we do these watch alongs each week, Jerry, and have a great time. But I remember you talking about in the Vanderbilt game, talking about how a lot of the stuff that they were able to do against Vanderbilt's not going to work against Georgia, and it didn't. Talk about this how concerning this is when you know what's coming 6 days from now in that offense at Aggieland.
Yeah, I mean, look, they don't have Bobby Petrino as a play caller. Colin Klein's not in his league. Not many people are, but they have better personnel. They have a better offensive line. We'll see if Le'Veon Moss can give it a go or not. But they have better run game. They may not have a better back than Washington, but they have a better run game in general, in my opinion. They have more speed at wide receiver. They can hurt you in that way. I think their tight ends are better than Arkansas. I don't even think they are better than Arkansas. So the key for the Texas offense, where A&M's strength is defensively, I believe, is Cassius Howell in their pass rush. Texas offensive line, it'll be very interesting to see what Sark does next week from a protection standpoint. I'm not sure if Texas in 5-man protects, they'll fare very well against A&M because those guys can rush the passer. So it'll be interesting to see how Sark kind of navigates around that through play calling, through formation. I'm not sure Texas can hold up in 5-man protections against A&M. I think they can really get after the quarterback. They're improved in the secondary where A&M matches up well with Texas. A&M's weakness on defense is their run defense. People have gashed them this year. Texas doesn't have the capability to gash them. Maybe they will next week. Maybe they will next week. Maybe Trey Weisner goes for 125, 130 next week, and that would be a big number for this team rushing the football.
Yeah,
but Texas is going to have to run the football on A&M next week because everybody has tried it, and it keeps that A&M offense off the field. I think you got to call a totally different game in that regard next week.
Yeah, this game's about big plays, but yeah, that's the concern for Texas. You'd like to have long, sustained drives and kind of a game plan like the Oklahoma game where you're converting third downs and choking it out. But man, this team is so penalty prone and mistake prone, typically against elite competition. If you could dial up the Oklahoma game plan offensively and be efficient and sound, you feel pretty good about that, and that keeps the defense off the field. But as we found out with the South Carolina game, and South Carolina is not a good team, but that team at A&M can score so quickly, so many ways. I mean, Concepcion, Mario Craver, and the tight ends, and Reuben Owens, a real good running back. I mean, he's dynamic, so they can score quick. That's a tall challenge. There's a reason they're the third-ranked team in the country, and some think they should be higher than they are right now. But fourth quarter, Longhorns up big, 52-30. It'll be a short week to try to get this defense. I think one of the critical conversations this week is, can Anthony Hill play? I mean, Rod wasn't optimistic. I might be being too optimistic, but boy, the Longhorns could use, as we see tonight, 0 being out there.
Yeah, I think
Anthony Smith is going to sit out the first half with a targeting suspension.
Yeah. Number one offense still out there. I think that touchdown by Arkansas, based on the PTSD of the Vanderbilt game, knowing how Arkansas can hit you on big plays, and they've been there. I think Texas has to Charlie be good. Sark isn't capable of running football. But I think for Texas now, that Arkansas touchdown kept Arch Manning, Trey White.
Gets it back to 22, and so 3 scores. And the Vanderbilt game happened so quickly. They're going to try to run – and right now they're probably trying to work on some of the stuff they're going to try to do with A&M and run the football here. Leave a good taste in your mouth on your way out because you're going to have to run the ball. That's the way to beat A&M. Gosh, Missouri ran for over 200 yards against them when they had a third-string quarterback in the game and couldn't throw. But that's Ahmad Hardy and that crew at Missouri. But here comes Trey Weisner, able to push a little bit and get something going.
Some updates at Oregon on the USC 30. Interesting game. Utah is down to Kansas State, 38-35. Kansas State has the ball, 11 and a half minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That's in Utah.
And that's big. Texas needs Utah to take a loss.
Yes. Yes. And I know people are like, what are you even talking about the playoffs? Well, until you're eliminated, you're not eliminated.
As long as we get in. And I think we have to say again, we did it in the first half, Jerry, but the Lane Kiffin thing at Ole Miss is worth mentioning and talking about because everybody assumes Ole Miss is in. But, Ross Dellinger at Yahoo had a report today that talking to folks close to the Ole Miss program, that locker room is angry. Yeah. It's going to be a weird week of practice because Lane Kiffin It seems like there's reports that his son is enrolled at a high school in Baton Rouge, Knox, and that they're already on their way, and that will they even show up and play? I think they will play against Mississippi State because they can make the playoff, and the players want to still do that. But there's a lot of anger in that facility right now at their head coach. So that could get ugly. And if they were to lose to Mississippi State, Jerry, and have 2 losses and lose Lane Kiffin to LSU, that the committee could very well hold that against them and dock them that spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible because they don't have strength of schedule on their side either if they take that second loss.
Yeah, you're right about that. And again, the committee, I know it was a 4-team playoff a couple of years ago, but Florida State went 13-0 and won the ACC and didn't get in because they lost their quarterback and they deemed them as a different team. I mean, you have to consider Ole Miss much different without the play calling and the execution of Lane Kiffin on the sidelines. I mean, he's obviously a huge component. The reason he's in such demand, and you've compared him favorably with Bobby Petrino as one of the elite play callers of the game.
Yes.
All right, good play by that to Emmett Mosley. That's going to get a first down, and the clock keeps ticking. We get to the 2-minute warning. We'll shut this bad boy down and get you ready for the postgame show with Bobby and Rod and the crew. Now, obviously,
Ryan Robeson will be on today. I'll say this. I'll say this about Lane Kiffin because we have time in a 22-point game to talk about this. Should Lane follow through and go to LSU as people expect, unless Sexton's pulling a fast one on us, which knowing Jimmy Sexton, you never know, but let's go with he's going to LSU. That is LSU gets very dangerous with Lane Kiffin because you put his play calling with the athletes, he's able to Matthew Caldwell in the game, by the way. With the athletes, he's able to get at LSU just from inside his state lines before he goes outside the state. The LSU becomes dangerous again. And that for Texas, having LSU at Lane from a recruiting standpoint, makes it tougher in Houston. I mean, we're in the NIL era, right? It makes it tougher to go into Louisiana because LSU people are going to be excited about Lane Kiffin if that happens. But then LSU can always go into Houston and recruit. So that gives another challenge to A&M and Texas in Houston. So Kiffin to LSU would be pretty big. Then some people would ask, well, what does that mean? What does that mean for Florida? Who would they go after? Great question. Apparently they interviewed Sumrall, but he's expected to go to Auburn. We'll see where it goes. Is Josh Heupel, somebody like that on Florida's radar? But for recruiting in the state of Florida, if they don't get Lane Kiffin, it's good for Texas. In Florida, tougher, much, much tougher for anybody recruiting in Louisiana if Lane Kiffin takes that job. And Texas has tried that.
Yeah, that would be – that kind of feels like when they got Saban. They got Saban to start with. I mean, he's that kind of coach, and there's so much talent in that area. And Houston and his offensive brain, they'd hire a good defensive coordinator. What about Eli Drinkwitz in Missouri? Is he a guy that would fire up in Florida at all? I mean, I think he's a good football coach.
No, you know what's interesting? Talking to people that are close to that, apparently Eli Drinkwitz is not like I think he's a really good football coach, but apparently he just doesn't get anybody energized because he's, I don't want to call him a dork. I mean, that's
he's
mean.
Kind of nerdy.
It's like, he's kind of nerdy personality, right? That doesn't really get a fan base excited. He's a good football coach. But I'm not sure that's what people are would get excited about. But, on some level, just go get the best football coach you can.
You're right. Jerry, again, we're gonna run into the 2-minute warning. I want to ask you, as I watched last night, Florida State is a dysfunctional mess. You're playing NC State last night. Is Florida State going to open up?
I would think it's over 50-50. But is who's going to punt this year? Pay a guy one more year. Because you have Penn State still open, you have LSU open, you have Florida open. Those are 3 power jobs. So, and you're not going to get who you want with those 3 jobs open or who you would target at the top. So, I think that's what makes it interesting to see if they actually punt. But I do think nerds rule the world. That's exactly correct. That just fan bases just don't. Of college football.
They don't want to hire him to be their football coach. It's like being a leading man. You're not going to have a nerd leading man in a major motion picture and try to sell tickets. All right, Jerry, 2-minute warning time brought to you by Driven Auto Service. Also, thanks to our friends at Driven Auto Sales. Find them online in your next vehicle at drivenoutosales.net. more than fair, more than friendly. Also, Backer Brands, check that out, bckr.com. Check out that free hat promotion. When you buy a piece of gear, a gift for yourself or for Christmas, get yourself a free hat today to put to give to someone else or wear yourself. Also, our friends at Callahan's General Store. Jerry, it's been fun, buddy. 52-30, Longhorns are running this thing out. It was close at 21-20, and the Longhorns stretched this bad boy out, and they are going to go to 8-3. And here come the Aggies rolling in. Can the Longhorns get to 9-3 and post their third win over a top 10 team this year, even though they have 3 losses, and give themselves an outside shot? We'll obviously be doing our watch along next week on a Friday after Thanksgiving. We'll start about 6:30 right at kick time. Post-game show coming next, and all the content throughout the week here on Texas Football. Thank you, G-Man.
You got it, guys. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Same to you. Happy Thanksgiving.